Chapter 3464.
Lu Ming, leave them to me.
Blue Merchant spoke as the halos around him became even more dazzling. These halos turned into divine blades and floated around Blue Merchant, aiming at the geniuses. Humph! Isn't he just a monarch god? Just kill him. Feng Wuqi shouted coldly, his killing intent thick. With their strength, why would they be afraid of a monarch god?
Moreover, Blue Merchant had only become a monarch god with his soul.
How strong could he be? Feng Wuqi made his move. He stepped into the void and charged at Blue Merchant. He slapped out his palm and suppressed Blue Merchant. Feng Wuqi was 1,000,000 meters tall and Blue Merchant was like a speck of dust in front of him. However, a halo lit up on Lan Shang's body and illuminated the area. It was like a divine blade that slashed towards Feng Wuqi. With a boom, the two attacks collided. Feng Wuqi's body shook violently and he retreated continuously. Then, Blue Merchant stepped forward. Multicolored light filled the air and enveloped the 8 mountain masters.
Lan Shu, leave that guy to me.
Lu Ming pointed at Murong Xueqi and said to Blue Merchant, "This guy is very strong. You have to be careful." Lan Shang sent a voice transmission to Lu Ming. Then, rays of light burst forth and charged toward Feng Wuqi and the rest, shrouding Feng Wuqi, Feng Qingxue, and the rest of the 7 powerful figures. Rays of light shrouded these people. Lu Ming stepped forward and charged at Murong Xueqi. Murong Xueqi, there are only 2 of us now. Let's fight. Lu Ming pointed the Overlord God's spear at Murong Xueqi. Do you think that I won't be able to take you down by myself? That's good. This way, your primordial divine blood will be mine. Murong Xueqi gave a cold smile. Even when Blue Merchant appeared and blocked the others, his face was still calm and filled with confidence. Then let me see what you're capable of. Lu Ming stepped through the air and his body turned into a phantom as he charged at Murong Xueqi. The tyrant god's spear trembled and a bright spear glow pierced out at Murong Xueqi. Everyone's hearts raced. Lu Ming was going to fight Murong Xueqi. Who was stronger? Was there going to be a change in the number 1 on the God King list today? Explode! Murong Xueqi angrily roared and the 9 flying daggers beside him began to violently tremble. Then they exploded with a shocking aura as the daggers glowed. This was the power of severing the shackles. Kill! Murong Xueqi shouted. The 9 flying daggers turned into 9 graceful flashes and flew towards Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. However, Lu Ming was already prepared. His spiritual sense locked onto the 9 flying daggers, and the tyrant god's spear burst forth. Clang clang clang. The tip of the spear collided with the 9 flying daggers, creating a shocking explosion. Then, the 9 flying daggers were sent flying.
However, as soon as the 9 flying daggers were sent flying, they changed their direction and continued to charge toward Lu Ming.
They were unpredictable and powerful. However, Lu Ming was no longer the same as before. The tyrant god's spear kept thrusting out and each time, it accurately sent the 9 flying daggers flying. At the same time, he kept approaching Murong Xueqi. In the end, Lu Ming pressed down with his spear. The giant spear glow pressed down on Murong Xueqi and completely locked onto him. Murong Xueqi's face changed. Thousands of streams of water surrounded his body and formed a heavy shield around him. At the same time, he controlled the 9 flying daggers to attack Lu Ming. Origin secret techniques kept appearing on Lu Ming's body. He used all of his origin secret techniques to block all of the flying daggers. When the tyrant god's spear pressed down, all of Murong Xueqi's attacks were shattered and exploded. With a hong sound, the tyrant god's spear pressed down. Murong Xueqi's body wildly trembled and he was sent flying like a cannonball. This is your full strength? What trump cards do you have? Use them all. Lu Ming's voice rang out. Although Murong Xueqi's current strength was strong, it was only because of the mysteries of the flying daggers. At most, he was only a bit stronger than Feng Wuqi. The number 1 on the God King list, an invincible existence, only had this bit of strength? Good. How many years has it been? No one has forced me to use my full strength. Lu Ming, you are the first one. Murong Xueqi roared out and his eyes flashed with a fierce light. Then with an explosive roar, his body erupted like a volcano, releasing an even more shocking aura. Your aura has doubled. This is a secret technique. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He guessed that Murong Xueqi should have mastered a secret technique similar to the battle word art, which could double his strength. Murong Xueqi was already very strong. With his strength doubled, his battle strength would naturally be even more shocking. Wang, Wang. The 9 flying daggers floated beside Murong Xueqi. They kept vibrating because of the large amount of power injected into them.
Die for me!
Murong Xueqi roared. The 9 flying daggers turned into 9 dazzling rays of light and charged at Lu Ming with shocking speed. The power this time was even more shocking than before. It was twice as strong.
Come!
Lu Ming shook the tyrant god spear and dazzling spear lights shot out. Each spear light stabbed at a flying dagger. A series of terrifying tremors erupted as a huge explosion occurred in this area. Each collision was like a ball exploding. The shockwave spread in all directions. If it was outside, it would definitely destroy the world. Such power. I'm afraid it's not as simple as doubling my strength. The continuous collisions made Lu Ming's hand feel a bit numb. Lu Ming gave a sigh. The secret technique Murong Xueqi cultivated was not small. Although it could not compare to the battle word art, it still increased his strength by 3-4 times. This was definitely a rare secret technique. Murong Xueqi. He really was worthy of being a heaven's pride chosen by the Fate Spirit Source Stone. He was too strong and his strength was truly shocking. Of all the heaven's pride Lu Ming had met, other than the unfathomable Di Jenny, there was no one at the same level that could be Murong Xueqi's match. The universe was too big and there were countless races. It was unknown how many heaven's pride there were. Although Lu Ming was a monster, that didn't mean there wasn't someone even more monstrous than Lu Ming. For example, there might be geniuses who had mastered some heaven-defying divine skills and secret skills. There might even be geniuses who had mastered a few origin ancient characters. When meeting this kind of person, wanting to fight across several realms was not realistic. Facing Murong Xueqi, Lu Ming's cultivation was 1 realm lower. Moreover, without using his primordial body, Lu Ming was not his match.
Then come.
With a thought from Lu Ming, the drop of primordial god's blood in his heart began to move. It turned into thousands of blood qi and entered Lu Ming's countless bloodlights before entering his body. From Lu Ming's body, there was a faint dragon's roar. At this moment, Lu Ming felt his body filled with explosive strength. Lu Ming activated the primordial god's blood, but he did not turn into a divine dragon. He still maintained his human form. Following that, his spear swept out. A giant spear light swept out in all directions and hit the 9 flying daggers. Chapter 3465. The Overlord God's spear hit the 9 flying daggers and the 9 flying daggers shook violently. They were sent flying and almost shattered. In the distance, Murong Xueqi's expression wildly changed. His body trembled and he retreated. His face was pale and blood came out of the corner of his mouth. The shock from the Origin Source secret technique was too strong. Even he himself was affected by it and suffered some injuries. Why is his strength so strong? Murong Xueqi was incomparably shocked and his eyes were filled with shock. How could Lu Ming's strength suddenly explode with such power? It completely suppressed him. Didn't I say that I have already refined the primordial divine blood? Lu Ming lightly said. You really refined the primordial divine blood? Damn! Murong Xueqi angrily roared. His heart was filled with shock. Lu Ming could actually refine the primordial divine blood in half a month. He did not doubt it at all because Lu Ming's strength was too shocking. His body did not become bigger, but his strength increased by a lot. This could only be done by refining the primordial divine blood and entering a new realm with the primordial divine body. Murong Xueqi's face was filled with jealousy. How long had he been in this world? After all these years of hard work, he had finally reached the peak and became the #1 expert on the God King list. But after all these years, he had not cultivated the primordial divine body to the next level and refined the primordial divine blood. But Lu Ming had done it. He was about to go crazy with jealousy. Hearing the conversation between Lu Ming and Murong Xueqi, the others were incomparably shocked. Lu Ming, so what if you refine the primordial divine blood? If I kill them, extract their blood, and refine them, I will still be able to take that step. Murong Xueqi's face was incomparably fierce as he roared. 9 daggers as one, man as one. Cut through everything, kill. Shwa, shwa. Murong Xueqi's 9 flying daggers gathered together and became a flying dagger. At this moment, Murong Xue's body shrunk and flew into the flying dagger. He fused with the flying dagger and turned into a flying dagger. This flying knife emitted an earth-shattering blade light. Just the overflowing blade light alone was enough to cause the void to tremble and ferocious cracks to appear. Whoosh! Then, the flying knife shot toward Lu Ming. Are you finally going all out? Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. The energy in his body wildly surged into the tyrant god's spear. Then, Lu Ming became one with his spear, turning into a spear glow that stabbed at Murong Xue. At this moment, many people found it hard to breathe as they stared at this attack. The battle between Blue Merchant and Feng Wuqi and the others also stopped. At that moment, Feng Wuqi and the others were in a sorry state. They were covered in wounds and blood. Even with so many of them working together, they were still no match for Blue Merchant. They were forced together and could only resist with all their might. They no longer had the strength to fight back. At this time, Blue Merchant stopped and did not attack. He just looked at Lu Ming and Murong Xue. Only then did Feng Wuqi and the others have a chance to catch their breath. Under the gazes of countless people, a long spear and a throwing knife met in the air. Huh! The void violently shook. At the place where the long spear and the throwing knife met, there was an incomparably dazzling light that was even brighter than the sun. It was as if two stars had collided and exploded. The terrifying force turned into waves that could be seen with the naked eye and swept out in all directions. Retreat! Retreat! The people watching the battle all retreated again and again, because this kind of collision was too terrifying. It had already surpassed the limits of the Divine King realm and entered another level. It could be considered a battle of the Divine King realm. In the instant that the two collided, the flying dagger started to violently vibrate. The crowd was able to see cracks appearing on the flying dagger. Furthermore, the number of cracks on the flying dagger was rapidly increasing. Murong Xue is about to lose. Many people were wildly shocked. It was clear that Murong Xue was at a disadvantage. Pang! In the next moment, the throwing knife shattered and a pitiful cry rang out. Then everyone saw a figure fly out at an astonishing speed. This figure was naturally Murong Xue. Murong Xue slammed into a volcano, causing the volcano to shake and almost shatter. Murong Xue spat out large mouthfuls of blood and his face was pale. There was a large hole in his chest that had been pierced through by the spear glow. Murong Xue had been heavily injured and his aura was very weak. The long spear in the air flashed and Lu Ming's figure appeared. Lu Ming's aura was calm and his face was cold. That move just now had no effect on him at all. Now that Lu Ming had activated the primordial god's blood, his strength had completely surpassed Murong Xue's. Even if his cultivation was still a layer lower. Murong Xue has lost. Now send him on his way. Lu Ming coldly said. He walked forward step by step, moving towards Murong Xue. His ice-cold killing intent continued to fill the air around Murong Xue. Kill him, ha ha ha. Within Lu Ming's body, the life spirit rock spirit broke out in laughter. It was incomparably excited. As long as it killed Murong Xue and obtained the other side's life spirit source stone fragment, it would be able to swallow the other side's life spirit source stone and strengthen itself. Just thinking about it made it excited. It was becoming more and more satisfied with Lu Ming. He had actually defeated another person with a life spirit source stone fragment like this. This had surpassed its expectations. The life spirit source stone fragment chose a master and it chose a very rare heaven's pride. Even if they weren't unparalleled, they were close. Moreover, they were all people with great luck. It was reasonable to say that they wouldn't be easy to defeat or kill. Lu Ming, you can't kill me. Murong Xue angrily shouted. Can't kill nonsense. Just kill, ha ha. Lu Ming had not even opened his mouth when the life spirit rock spirit loudly shouted. Of course, no one else could hear it. Only Lu Ming could hear it. Can't kill? Hee hee. Lu Ming gave a cold laugh. His ice-cold killing intent represented everything. Indeed, you can't kill him. At this moment, an old voice came from the sky. With a flash of light, an old man appeared in front of Murong Xue. Sir Enforcer. Murong Xue was filled with joy. Enforcer. Lu Ming knit his brows. In this world there were 3 enforcers. This enforcer was not the one Lu Ming knew. Sir Enforcer, do you want to break the rules and interfere in our duel? Lu Ming said. The guardians and the enforcers could not interfere in their duel. We're definitely going to intervene this time. In another direction, another voice came. Lu Ming looked over and saw another old man. This person's clothes were the same as the enforcer's. Another enforcer.
Lu Ming, you can't kill him.
A sigh came from another direction. Lu Ming looked over and his eyes changed. This person was also an enforcer and it was the one Lu Ming had seen before. Chapter 3466.
The last law enforcer that appeared was the one that Lu Ming had seen before, the one that had come with the 10,000 gods. He walked over with a helpless look on his face. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, I've said it before, you can't kill me.
Murong Xueqi laughed. Law enforcers, I want to know, what is going on? Lu Ming asked with a frown. According to the rules here, the protectors and law enforcers would not interfere in their fights. Even if they died, it would be because their cultivation was too weak. But now, the 3 law enforcers had come out to protect Murong Xueqi. Lu Ming was filled with doubts. Lu Ming, I'll tell you. Murong Xueqi has already caught the eye of an important person. Once he breaks through to the divine monarch realm, he will be taken in as a disciple. So we can't kill him. If we kill him, we won't be able to explain it to that important person. The first law enforcer that appeared said, Important person. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. In this world, law enforcers were the strongest. Then who was this important person that they were talking about? Is it that world? Lu Ming suddenly thought of the world that the 10,000 gods wanted to go to. The law enforcers had said that this world was very big. They were only in the periphery and there was an even deeper world. Lu Ming guessed that it was behind the door that he had seen before. The 10,000 gods had gone to that world to cultivate. Whether it was the protectors or the law enforcers, they were only there to temporarily manage this place. The important person that the law enforcers were talking about was most likely the important person of that world. So Murong Xueqi already had a backer. Lu Ming frowned. With the 3 law enforcers protecting Murong Xueqi, he could not kill him at all. With his cultivation, in front of the law enforcers, he was just an ant. Law enforcers, quickly kill this brat for me. I want this brat to die without a burial ground. Murong Xueqi roared. But the 3 law enforcers did not move. What are you doing? Why aren't you moving? Are you ignoring my words? Murong Xueqi shouted at the 3 law enforcers. That important person said that we would protect you, but we didn't agree to kill you. The first enforcer said. Now, I order all of you to kill him. I tell all of you that I can break through to the Divine Lord realm at any time. At that time, my status will be above all of yours. In this world, who can I not kill? Murong Xueqi loudly shouted with a fierce expression. Murong Xueqi, being able to catch the eye of that important person is because of his innate talent. But don't forget, Lu Ming being able to defeat him is enough to prove that his innate talent is above others. What would happen if the news of his defeat were to spread to the other world? There will definitely be a stronger lord taking him in as a disciple. When that time comes, will my status still be above his? The enforcer who took Wan Shen away said coldly. Murong's face alternated between green and white. His hatred for Lu Ming was monstrous. He hated him to the bone. However, he couldn't refute it. With Lu Ming's talent, she believed that he would soon be taken in as a disciple by an even stronger expert. He might even be stronger than the expert who had taken a fancy to him. Good, very good. Brat, remember this. One day, I will personally twist off your head. Murong Xueqi stared at Lu Ming as he spoke in a fierce voice. I understand. Someone who has been defeated is not my match, so you can only talk back. I understand. Clowns are all like this. Lu Ming softly said with a look of disdain. Murong Xueqi was so angry that his body trembled. In the end, he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was truly angry. Lu Ming's expression and tone were just too infuriating. In front of Lu Ming, he had become a clown. We'll wait and see. Murong Xueqi angrily roared before turning into a streak of light and leaving. Aiya, my life soul source stone fragment, aiya. Seeing Murong Xueqi leave, the life soul source stone Shi cried miserably. Shut up for me. Lu Ming shouted at Shi with his soul power. This fellow didn't do anything, but it was crying so hard. Shi immediately closed its mouth. The life soul source stone fragment. I will get it sooner or later. It can't run, Lu Ming said in a low voice. At this moment, Feng Qingxue and the others took the opportunity to leave. They didn't dare to stay, fearing that Lu Ming would find trouble with them. There were only 3 law enforcers left, Lu Ming and Blue Merchant. At this moment, one of the law enforcers looked at Blue Merchant with a look of surprise and said, "Without a star core, you can reach this level with just your soul power. It's really a miracle." "That's right. It's rare in the world. He's a rare genius." Another law enforcer also said, "You flatter me." Blue Merchant cupped his fists. However, no matter if you cultivate divine power or soul power, your cultivation has surpassed the divine king realm. You can't stay in this world. Also, you haven't cultivated the primordial divine body, so you can't enter the next level to cultivate. You can only be sent out. The first law enforcer said. These words made Lu Ming and Blue Merchant's expressions change slightly. "May I ask the law enforcers, how do you leave? Where do you go after you leave?" Lu Ming asked. "Back to where you came from, of course," the first law enforcer said. Lu Ming and Blue Merchant's expressions changed again, and they became a little gloomy. "Back to where you came from?" After Blue Merchant left, wouldn't he return to the barbarian tribe's territory and be in danger again? "Law enforcers, can't we go to other places?" Lu Ming asked. "No, this was set by the big shots in the cryptic world. They must have their reasons, and it can't be changed," the first law enforcer said. Lu Ming's face darkened. He pondered for a moment and said, "If you want to send him out, send both of us out." Although Lu Ming couldn't bear to leave this place for the time being, the cultivation environment in Fengyun Mountain was too good. If Lu Ming cultivated here, his divine power of origin and secret techniques of origin would improve rapidly, and it would save a lot of time. However, he couldn't just watch Blue Merchant go out to die and do nothing. Blue Merchant was Jing Yu's teacher, and he had done him a great favor along the way. Lu Ming wouldn't abandon Blue Merchant because of his own selfishness. This went against his principles, and he couldn't do it. If they had to leave, they would leave together. If there was danger, they could face it together. "No, Lu Ming, you don't have to leave with me. Stay here and cultivate. It won't be too late to leave after you've improved your cultivation," Blue Merchant said hurriedly. Lu Ming was Jing Yu's hope to overturn the case, so he couldn't let Lu Ming go out with him. "Yes, Lu Ming, your talent is too suitable for this place. When the news of you defeating Murong Xueqi spreads to the cryptic world, there will definitely be a big shot who will accept you as a disciple. Cultivating here is the most suitable place for you." The law enforcer who took Wan Xin away also tried to persuade him. Chapter 3467. The enforcer who took Wan Xin away was also interested in Lu Ming's talent. He hoped that Lu Ming could stay and cultivate here so that he could better unleash his talent. Lu Ming also wanted to stay. The cultivation environment in Fengyun Mountain was really tempting. However, he couldn't let Blue Merchant return to the barbarian territory alone and face danger. If they were to leave, they had to leave together. Lu Ming shook his head and said, "Unless you let Lan Shu stay as well, I'll leave with Lan Shu." Lu Ming's face was resolute and unquestionable. Blue Merchant sighed. He had known Lu Ming for so long and understood Lu Ming too well. Once Lu Ming made a decision, he wouldn't change it. "If that's the case, let's leave together," another enforcer said. Although he admired Lu Ming, he wouldn't stop Lu Ming if he insisted on leaving. "Fellow enforcers, before Lu Ming leaves, he wants to do something. I hope you won't stop him." Lu Ming cupped his fists and said, "What do you want to do?" One of the enforcers asked. "You should have seen how many people joined hands to deal with me. If I don't get back at them, I won't feel good," Lu Ming said. The enforcers frowned. It was obvious that Lu Ming wanted to kill his way to the other famed mountains and find trouble with the mountain lords. However, this was equivalent to one famed mountain attacking another. It wasn't allowed. "All right, we agree. However, there's a condition. You have to go alone and not kill anyone," the enforcer who took Wan Xin away said. "All right." Lu Ming nodded. "All right, go then. Come back here 7 days later and we'll send you out. Also, we'll inform the guardians." "We won't stop you," the enforcer said. "Thank you." Lu Ming cupped his fists. With a flash, he left the place. Six Min Mountain was extremely magnificent.
It soared through the clouds and covered a large area. There were even more experts here than Fengyun Mountain. At this moment, many people were discussing. Lu Ming is really powerful. Even Murongqiu Xue is no match for him. Looks like there's going to be a change in the God King list. The first place is Lu Ming. I heard that Lu Ming has only been here for a few hundred years. This record is really amazing. I don't think anyone will be able to break it for a long time. This time, the Mountain Lord of the Mountain has attacked Lu Ming could be killed. I don't know if Lu Ming will come looking for trouble. The Mountain Master is hiding in the famed mountain. That Lu Ming shouldn't dare to come. These people were discussing, but in the next moment, their eyes widened. That was because a figure was walking in the sky from afar. His cold killing intent was not concealed at all, causing the air to seem as if it was about to freeze. Someone exclaimed. Don't be nervous. He is the Mountain Lord of Fengyun Mountain. He won't dare to kill his way into our Six-Min Mountain. Otherwise, he will be violating the rules. Someone shouted to calm the enforcers down. Feng Wuqi, get out here. Lu Ming's shout was like rolling thunder, causing the entire Six-Min Mountain to vibrate. In the depths of the Six-Min Mountain, Feng Wuqi was recuperating in seclusion. In the previous battle, he had been injured by Lu Ming and Blue Merchant. His injuries were not light, so he had to take the time to recuperate. Then Lu Ming's voice was heard. Damn it, Lu Ming! Feng Wuqi opened his eyes and roared angrily. His eyes were filled with murderous intent, but they were also filled with fear. Lu Ming had condensed the primordial divine blood. If he used all his strength, he could definitely kill Feng Wuqi. Mountain Lord, this is bad. Lu Ming is here. He is shouting outside the mountain and wants to challenge you. Someone came to report. Ignore him. He doesn't dare to come in. He can only roar outside. Feng Wuqi said with a gloomy face. Yes, that person left. However, not long after that person left, he ran in again in a panic and shouted, Mountain Lord, this is bad. Lu Ming is here. He rushed into the Six-Min Mountain and no one can stop him. What? How dare he? He is the Mountain Lord of Fengyun Mountain. It is against the rules to barge in like this. Quick! Inform the Guardian. Feng Wuqi roared. Yes. That person went out immediately. However, after a while, he came back with an even more shocked face. Mountain Lord, this is bad. The Guardian is not here. We can't find him. What? Damn it! Feng Wuqi roared. Wasn't the Guardian always here? Why wasn't he here now? Feng Wuqi, get out here and fight with me. At this moment, Lu Ming's voice was heard again. This time, Lu Ming was right outside the cave where Feng Wuqi was cultivating in seclusion. Lu Ming had already fought his way here. Damn it, damn it! Feng Wuqi roared in his heart. At the same time, he was worried sick. However, since Lu Ming was already at the door, he could only go out. Gritting his teeth, Feng Wuqi got up and walked out of the cave. When he walked out of the cave, he saw Lu Ming standing outside the cave with his hands behind his back. His face was cold. He was surrounded by people from the Six-Min Mountain, but no one dared to make a move. Lu Ming, why are you here at the Six-Min Mountain? Feng Wuqi shouted coldly. Of course I'm here for you. Why? You ganged up with so many people to deal with me. Are you going to let it go? Lu Ming said coldly. Lu Ming, don't be rash. This is the Six-Min Mountain. You are the Mountain Lord of Fengyun Mountain. According to the rules, you are not allowed to make a move on other famous mountains. Do you understand? Feng Wuqi shouted. Now, he could only use the rules to suppress Lu Ming. I understand. So what? I'm going to make a move. Lu Ming sneered and stepped out. A violent aura shot up to the sky. He grabbed the air with his right hand and the Overlord's spear appeared in his hand. How dare you? Feng Wuqi shouted. Boom. What welcomed him was a dazzling spear radiance that pressed down on him like a mountain. Feng Wuqi shouted and turned into his primordial divine body to resist. However, Lu Ming didn't bother to talk nonsense with him this time. He used all his strength to crush him. After a few breaths, Feng Wuqi was lying on the ground like a dead dog. His body kept twitching and many of his bones were broken. It was a horrible sight. Don't kill me. Feng Wuqi was really scared. He was scared to death and his body kept shaking.
He was really afraid that Lu Ming would kill him directly. "I'm too lazy to kill you. Hand over your storage ring." Lu Ming walked over and took Feng Wuqi's storage ring under Feng Wuqi's pleading eyes. Then he left without looking back. Arg! Feng Wuqi let out a heart-wrenching scream. The storage ring contained all his wealth. He had been in this world for tens of thousands of years and had accumulated a shocking amount of primordial divine crystals. But now they were all gone. Not a single piece was left for him. He even had the urge to die. After Lu Ming left, he continued to head to another famous mountain without stopping. Chapter 3468. Soon, Lu Ming came to the next famous mountain. Not long after, the owner of this mountain was also beaten to a pulp. His storage ring was also taken away by Lu Ming. In this way, Lu Ming went all the way and visited all the famous mountains. All the owners of the famous mountains were beaten half to death and had their storage rings taken away. It was the same even for a stunning beauty like Feng Qingxue. Lu Ming did not stand on ceremony. He did not have the slightest bit of protective feelings for the fairer sex. He directly attacked and took away the storage ring. All of a sudden, Lu Ming's name shook the world and shocked everyone. He had visited all the famous mountains and taken away all the storage rings of the owners. This had never happened in history. Moreover, none of the guardians stepped forward. Everyone knew that this was tacitly approved by the guardians or the law enforcers. Everyone was even more shocked. There are so many primordial divine gems. It should be enough. Lu Ming was full of smiles. The number of primordial divine gems was astonishing. In total, it was definitely hundreds of millions. Lu Ming was finally in a better mood. Before 7 days were up, Lu Ming returned to the vicinity of the 14th mountain. The 3 law enforcers looked at Lu Ming strangely. In the past few days, they had received the news and knew what Lu Ming had done. This guy is really petty. We can't let him think about us. The 3 law enforcers muttered in their hearts. They could not help but feel a little scared. Lu Ming had infinite potential and would definitely surpass them in the future. If he came here again one day, would he cause trouble for them? At the thought of this, the 3 of them shuddered. Then they put on smiles and asked about Lu Ming's well-being to express their affection. Lu Ming was speechless. He thought to himself, are these 3 old guys crazy? Lu Ming, we'll see you out. Remember to come back if you have the chance in the future. One of the law enforcers said with a smile. Lu Ming nodded silently. Then, he and Blue Merchant followed the 3 law enforcers and left. Not long after, they came to a strange place. Here the space was constantly distorted, and there were more than a dozen huge vortexes that kept spinning. At a glance, Lu Ming knew that this was a space passage. This world has been set up by a supreme expert. It's very special. You can step into any vortex, but when you came in, your life imprints have been recorded. As long as you step into the vortex and leave this place, you will automatically return to the place where you came from. One of the law enforcers said. I see. Lu Ming's gaze flickered. It was no wonder that they wanted to return to where they came from. Lan Shu, let's go. Lu Ming looked at Blue Merchant. Lu Ming, you. Blue Merchant still wanted to persuade Lu Ming. If they left this place, they would return to the barbarian race's territory. Although it had been more than 100 years since they came in, who knew if the barbarian race was still guarding there? If they were still guarding there, it would be dangerous for them to go out. Lan Shu, let's go. Lu Ming smiled. He naturally knew what Blue Merchant wanted to say. Before Blue Merchant could finish, he had already stepped forward and stepped into a vortex. Blue Merchant sighed helplessly and followed him into that vortex. In a flash, the 2 of them disappeared. The familiar feeling of traveling through the void came again. Not long after, the void trembled, and Lu Ming and Blue Merchant appeared in the starry sky of the universe. We're back. Lu Ming took a deep breath. As soon as they returned, Lu Ming felt that the pressure on his body disappeared without a trace. He felt that his body was full of power, as if he could shatter a star with a punch. But the 2 of them immediately tensed up and looked around. There was no one. There was only a boundless starry sky around them. There were no living creatures, and no barbarian race. Did the barbarian race leave? Lu Ming and Blue Merchant were delighted. It was not impossible that the barbarian race had left after so many years. Let's leave this place quickly. How could the 2 of them miss such a good opportunity? They quickly rushed in a certain direction.
But in the next moment, a powerful aura spread out in front of them. It pressed down on them from all directions, and the entire starry sky trembled.
Not good.
Lu Ming's and Lan Shang's expressions changed drastically. They quickly stopped in their tracks. In front of them, the void rippled. Then a burly figure appeared. Barbarian race. A barbarian race powerhouse. The aura on his body was extremely terrifying. Without a doubt, this was a Divine Lord realm powerhouse. Moreover, he was not an ordinary first-level or second-level Divine Lord figure. The barbarian race people were still there. The two of them's hearts started to sink. It's been so many years. I didn't expect that it would be them who came out first. A voice came from behind. Following that, a powerful aura rose up. Lu Ming and Blue Merchant looked back. Several figures also appeared behind them. Each and every one of them had a strong aura. All of them were barbarians. There were more than a dozen barbarians. It looked like they were all Divine Lord realm barbarians. They were surrounded. More than a dozen barbarians stood in all directions, sealing off all of their escape routes.
Looks like we can only go all out.
Lu Ming, if there's a chance later, you have to seize the opportunity and escape. After Blue Merchant finished speaking, his glabella suffused with a resplendent brilliance. Following that, rays of divine light emerged on his body, revolving around him. Powerful soul force radiated out. This is soul force. What a powerful soul force. A person without a star core actually has such terrifying soul force.
Some barbarians exclaimed.
Kill! Blue Merchant gave a cold cry and suddenly rushed in a direction. Divine light was like a heavenly blade, slashing toward the barbarian race in that direction.
Making a move against me first, looks like you've found the wrong person.
This barbarian race person sneered and blasted a punch out.
Bang!
The void shook violently, being punched through. The terrifying fist force blasted toward Blue Merchant. The divine light that Blue Merchant attacked out directly exploded. You're a 5th-level Divine Lord. Blue Merchant's expression changed wildly. Blue Merchant's cultivation back then was extremely profound, far above 5th-level Divine Lord. Now, his soul force was even more astonishing. He naturally saw through the other party's cultivation realm at a glance. Although his current soul force was equivalent to the Divine Lord realm, it was at most equivalent to a 1st-level Divine Lord. No matter how profound his soul force was, it was also impossible to be a 5th-level Divine Lord's match.
Swoosh!
Blue Merchant immediately changed directions, wanting to rush in another direction. But the barbarian race person in that direction smiled malevolently. Grabbing out with a large hand, a huge palm grabbed toward Blue Merchant. This palm covered heaven and earth, boundlessly terrifying. The soul light that Blue Merchant burst forth directly collapsed. The large hand did not stop, continuing to grab toward Blue Merchant. 6th-level Divine Lord. Blue Merchant's expression changed wildly. Then his glabella shone. A fist-sized crystal emerged, emitting a terrifying soul force, wanting to block that large hand. But it was completely useless. A 6th-level Divine Lord existence was seriously too strong. With a grab from the large hand, that crystal trembled and flew back into Blue Merchant's glabella.
Chapter 3469.
The crystal that flew out from Lan Shang's glabella was very mysterious. It complemented his soul power perfectly. It was very mysterious. However, the difference between his cultivation base and that of the barbarian tribe was too big. The barbarian grabbed the crystal and sent it back into Blue Merchant's forehead. The Blue Merchant was enveloped by the huge hand and couldn't move.
Lan Shu!
Lu Ming was shocked. The tyrant god's spear appeared and became one with the spear, turning into a spear light that stabbed at the huge hand. However, it was like an ordinary person holding a wooden sword and stabbing at a steel wall. It didn't leave a single mark. Instead, the rebounding force sent Lu Ming flying.
Damn it!
The barbarians' experts were too strong. They weren't people they could deal with. This kid's strength isn't bad. Why don't I play with him? At this time, a tall and sturdy barbarian stepped out. He held a battle axe in his hand and grinned. 1st-level Divine Monarch Realm. Lu Ming could feel that this barbarian's cultivation was at the 1st-level Divine Monarch Realm.
Come.
Killing one is enough. Killing two is a profit. Lu Ming said, his killing intent cold.
Kill me?
Ha ha ha,
You're only at the 8th level Divine King realm. You sure talk big. Let's see how you're going to kill me.
The 1st level Divine Monarch realm barbarian laughed. He stepped out and slashed his battle axe at Lu Ming. An incomparably huge battle axe light filled the sky. It was too big, as if it could split open the sky.
Break!
Lu Ming roared. He circulated his divine power and poured it into the tyrant god's spear. Then, it turned into a shocking spear light that soared into the sky and pierced towards the battle axe.
Boom! There was an earth-shattering explosion. The spear and battle axe light trembled at the same time. Then they both collapsed. 4 awakenings of divine power. No, even 4 awakenings shouldn't be this terrifying. The barbarian exclaimed in disbelief. Lu Ming was actually evenly matched with him in one move. How was this possible? 8th layer of the Divine King realm could fight against a Divine Monarch realm expert?
Furthermore, he had been on the battlefield for a long time and had experienced countless battles. His battle prowess was slightly stronger than ordinary 1st level Divine Lords.
Kill!
Lu Ming shouted and charged towards the other party. As he rushed out, an even more shocking aura erupted from his body. The battle formula increased his combat power by 5 times. Previously, he had only triggered the battle formula to increase his combat strength by 4 times. After all, 5 times wasn't a 100% success rate. There was still a chance. At the same time, secret skills of the origins appeared continuously around Lu Ming's body. Gate of Domination, Void Shattering Sword, Sky Demon Blade. These origin source secret techniques all blasted towards the other party.
So many source secret techniques. The Goliath roared out in shock.
At the same time, he erupted with the full strength of his Divine Lord realm cultivation. He wildly slashed out with his axe, instantly creating over 100 axe lights that cut towards Lu Ming. As these axe lights collided with Lu Ming's source secret technique, a heaven-shaking explosion erupted. In the next moment, Lu Ming had already arrived, and the tyrant god's spear slammed down. A series of explosions rang out as the axe lights exploded. The spear directly shot towards the Goliath. The Goliath was shocked and used his axe to block. With a clang, the tyrant god's spear slammed into his axe. With a cracking sound, cracks appeared on his axe. His body violently trembled, and he was sent flying like a cannonball. He crashed into a meteor and coughed up large mouthfuls of blood.
Kill! Lu Ming controlled the wind-extinguishing boots and merged them with his feet.
With shocking speed, he charged at the other party, wanting to kill him. He still hadn't activated the tyrant god spear's power after severing the shackles, nor had he used his primordial god blood.
Now wasn't the time.
He wanted to find a suitable time to suddenly erupt and see if he could find a chance to charge out.
This brat is so strong. 2 more go.
A Goliath who obviously had a high status waved his hand. Then, 2 more Goliaths rushed over and slashed at Lu Ming with their axes. These 2 Goliaths were also 1st level Divine Lords. The 2 of them joined forces and attacked Lu Ming from the front.
Get lost!
Lu Ming shouted and swept out his spear.
The 2 Goliaths also retreated quickly.
But with this block, the first Goliath caught his breath and came to the side of the other 2 Goliaths.
The 3 Goliaths stood in a row.
This brat is really monstrous.
Be careful, don't capsize.
The Goliath from before said. Join forces and support each other.
Attack! Kill!
The 3 Goliaths joined forces and attacked Lu Ming. The 3 of them seemed to have formed a battle formation and supported each other. Their combat strength was multiplied. Strange, there's no killing intent.
Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat.
Although these Goliaths were shouting to kill, there was no killing intent on them. Lu Ming was a little puzzled, but he didn't have time to think. He waved the tyrant god's spear and rushed towards the Goliaths.
Bang! Bang! Bang!
Both sides had a fierce battle, colliding continuously in the air, erupting with horrifying rumbles. This was the power of the Divine Lord realm. Each collision was like a planet exploding, incomparably terrifying. For some time, both sides were actually locked in battle.
What astonishing combat strength!
An old Goliath exclaimed in admiration. Indeed astonishing, but I keep feeling that he hasn't used his full strength yet.
Another Goliath said. Hasn't used his full strength yet?
The other Goliath's hearts jumped. Already so freakish and he still hadn't used his full strength. Then if he used his full strength, how freakish would it be? Let the 2nd level Divine Lords go.
The person from before said, "Really want the second-level Divine Lords to go?" A Goliath said. Second-level Divine Lords seem to only be one level higher than first-level Divine Lords. But in the Divine Lord realm, the disparity between each level was too great. An existence one level higher could easily kill an existence one level lower, or even instantly kill. Although Lu Ming was strong, could he contend with a second-level Divine Lord existence? Not like this. How can we force him to use his full strength? Xan Chuan, you make your move. That Goliath from before looked at a middle-aged Goliath. Okay. This middle-aged Goliath was called Xian Chuan. He nodded his head, then took a step out, rushing toward Lu Ming Thayal's battlefield. When he approached, he directly slammed a punch out. A huge fist crushed toward Lu Ming. The terrifying fist pressure made the starry sky tremble wildly. Lu Ming's expression changed, figure retreating wildly. But the other party's fist force howled, its speed astonishing, pressing over. Bang! Lu Ming blocked with the Overlord God's spear. His body trembled wildly, and he was blasted out several 100,000 miles. All the muscles and bones in his body trembled. A stinging pain came from his wrist, bones almost breaking. Second-level Divine Lords, so strong. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed slightly. Second-level Divine Lords were too strong. Although he could contend with 3 first-level Divine Lord existences, facing off against a second-level Divine Lord existence, he was absolutely not a match. Looks like wanting to preserve strength won't work. Lu Ming thought in his heart. He still wanted to preserve strength and suddenly erupt, catching the other party by surprise. But now it could not. Facing off against a second-level Divine Lord, if he did not use his trump card, he would probably be directly killed by the other party. Chapter 3470. All of you retreat. Leave this person to me. Barbarian second-level Divine Lord Expert Xian Chuan said. The 3 first-level Divine Lord Barbarians nodded and retreated. You're very powerful. What trump cards do you have? Use them all. Xian Chuan looked at Lu Ming and said seriously. If I use them, I'm afraid you won't be able to take it. Lu Ming sneered. He took a step forward and suddenly charged towards Xian Chuan. With the support of the wind-extinguishing boots, his figure was as fast as lightning. With a swoosh, he rushed across hundreds of thousands of miles of space. At the same time, an incomparably powerful aura erupted from the Overlord God's spear. With a sweep of the spear, a world-shaking spear light pressed towards Xian Chuan. The power was much more shocking than before. This is an origin source secret technique to sever the shackles. On the side, some barbarians' faces changed wildly as they roared in shock. They were experienced and could naturally tell at a glance that Lu Ming's origin source secret technique had already severed the shackles. This was too shocking. In the Divine King realm, those who could comprehend an origin source secret technique were geniuses among geniuses. As for severing the shackles, it was too difficult and simply unbelievable. He severed the shackles. Xian Chuan also revealed a look of shock. Then, he revealed an even stronger fighting spirit. Divine power erupted from his body as he punched out. Boom! The starry sky within a radius of several million miles shook violently. A terrifying fist force blasted towards Lu Ming. Wherever the fist force passed, the void exploded and a void passage was blasted open. Boom! The Overlord God's spear and the fist force collided, erupting with a terrifying roar. The terrifying force swept across a radius of several million miles and even extended into the distant starry sky. Following that, the Overlord God's spear trembled incessantly and became bent. Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated rapidly, crashing into a meteorite that was several tens of thousands of miles in diameter. This meteorite directly exploded into pieces. Second-level Divine Lord realm is indeed powerful. Lu Ming's face was solemn. Although he activated the power of the Overlord God's spear, he was still not a match for a second-level Divine Lord realm. The gap between first-level Divine Lords was too great. It was impossible to rely on an origin source secret technique to sever a shackle to fight across realms. This was unrealistic. Severing one shackle only gave him a slight ability to resist. Otherwise, this move would have seriously injured him or even killed him. You've severed one shackle with your origin secret technique. Your battle prowess is indeed astonishing, but it's still not enough to contend against me. Do you have any other trump cards? Bring them out. Xueqi said. Of course, Xinchuan was just joking. He still had a trump card? How was that possible? This was already monstrous enough, all right? At the side, the other barbarian race experts also smiled and shook their heads. He still had a trump card? Was that even possible? An 8th-layer Divine King Realm Cultivator could block a 2nd-layer Divine Monarch Realm Cultivator's attacks without dying. He didn't even suffer heavy injuries. This was already unbelievable. If it was in the past, they wouldn't have believed it even if they were beaten to death. A God Lord had an overwhelming advantage against a God King. No matter how many God Kings there were, it was useless. A single slap could kill a large number of them. When a godly king met a godly monarch, there was only one path: death. But now, a mere 8th-layer Divine King Realm Cultivator was able to suppress a 1st-layer Divine Lord, and he could even hold his own against a 2nd-layer Divine Lord. This defied common sense. Roar! At this moment, an earth-shattering dragon roar came from Lu Ming's mouth. Then, Lu Ming's body started to grow crazily. Lu Ming activated the ancient god body and turned into a divine dragon. The divine dragon grew rapidly and turned into a divine dragon with 9 claws. It was a few million meters long and emitted a terrifying aura. This. All the barbarian race experts were stunned. Their eyes widened and they were tongue-tied. Just now, they were just casually talking. They never thought that Lu Ming would still have a trump card. Moreover, he turned into a divine dragon that was a few million meters long and emitted a terrifying aura. 9-clawed dragon. He turned into a 9-clawed dragon. What kind of secret technique is that? No, it's not a 9-clawed dragon. It looks like a primordial divine dragon. Could it be a primordial divine body? How could there be such a terrifying primordial divine body? The barbarian race experts were stunned. It was hard to imagine that there could be such a terrifying primordial divine body. Kill! Lu Ming shouted. One of his dragon claws grabbed the Overlord Divine Spear and whipped it toward Xueqi. At the same time, another dragon claw grabbed the Gate of Domination. Another dragon claw grabbed the Void-Shattering Sword, and another dragon claw grabbed the Heavenly Demon Blade. Especially the immemorial Divine Dragon Horn. It merged with the dragon horn on Lu Ming's head and emitted a blade light that slashed toward Xueqi. A series of attacks rained down on Xueqi like a storm. Xueqi's expression was solemn. He didn't dare to be careless. An axe appeared in each of his hands. With a loud shout, his body rapidly expanded and transformed into the barbarian god body. However, his barbarian god body was at most equivalent to the 5th transformation. Although any genius from the primordial divine spirit world would have a 6th, 7th, or even 8th transformation of the primordial divine spirit body, that was because they were rare geniuses who stayed in that world to cultivate. In the outside world, it was extremely rare to see a primordial divine body reach the 5th transformation. The 5th transformation was equivalent to the green-armored ancient god body. At the same time, the 2 axes slashed out continuously. This was the sky-splitting axe skill. It was a terrifying attack secret skill of the barbarian race. Its power could split the sky. The attacks from both sides collided. In an instant, they had exchanged hundreds of blows. Every collision was like a star exploding. It was as if hundreds of stars had exploded in the starry sky. It was a spectacular scene. After hundreds of collisions, a figure retreated quickly. It was Xueqi. He retreated hundreds of thousands of miles before he could stabilize himself. Lu Ming's huge body twisted and turned. At most, he retreated hundreds of thousands of miles. The winner was obvious. Lu Ming had gained the upper hand in this confrontation. Amazing! Again! Xueqi shouted. He waved his axes and charged at Lu Ming again. However, his body size was too different from Lu Ming's. He was just a small dot. Lu Ming twisted his body and charged at him. The Overlord God's spear turned into a dazzling spear light and stabbed at his opponent. Clang! Xueqi blocked the attack with his battle axe. However, his arm trembled and the battle axe almost flew out of his hand. He shouted and slashed at Lu Ming with his other axe. However, it was blocked by the saber gleam that burst forth from the dragon horn on Lu Ming's head. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Xueqi's body swayed. He used his movement skill and circled behind Lu Ming to attack. Lu Ming's body was huge. He wanted to defeat Lu Ming with his agility. Sure enough, Lu Ming did not react in time. He was swept by his opponent's axe light.
The scales on his body were almost cut open and he felt a burning pain. Sure enough, after transforming into the primordial divine dragon body, although I can unleash 100% of my power, I am not as agile. Lu Ming thought. Chapter 3471. In his divine dragon form, he could unleash 100% of his strength, but his agility was affected. In his human form, although he couldn't unleash 100% of his speed and agility were much faster. Both had their pros and cons. At this moment, Lu Ming needed speed. With a thought, Lu Ming's body shrunk into his human form. He swept out his Overlord Divine Spear and clashed with Xian Chuan's axe. There was a loud explosion and Lu Ming and Xian Chuan retreated at the same time. But in the next moment, the two of them clashed again. Lu Ming integrated the Wind Destroyer boots with his feet and his speed was amazing. He turned into a light shadow and attacked Xian Chuan. At this moment, his speed was above Xian Chuan's. The spear radiance moved around as though there were countless Lu Ming attacking Xian Chuan. In an instant, there were spear radiances piercing towards Xian Chuan from all directions. Xian Chuan waved his two axes and resisted with all his might. At this moment, he could only defend himself and couldn't fight back. Xian Chuan is no match for him. The other barbarians were shocked. An 8th realm divine king was so strong. They had lived for so long and had never heard of such a thing. Should we let a 3rd realm divine king try? Said an old barbarian. When he said this, he felt that he was crazy. How could a 3rd layer divine monarch god deal with an 8th layer divine king god? No need. Right at this moment, a deep voice resounded. It came from space, and then space rippled like a wave before a robust figure suddenly appeared. It was a middle-aged man covered in a layer of scales. There was a horn on his forehead and he looked like a humanoid crocodile. Marshal. When the barbarians saw the man, they bowed respectfully. You are Etion? When Lan Shang saw this middle-aged man, his eyes suddenly widened, revealing a look of disbelief, as if he was very surprised. When the middle-aged man appeared, Xian Chuan retreated quickly and distanced himself from Lu Ming. He stopped attacking. Lu Ming didn't chase after him. He instinctively felt that the middle-aged man was terrifying and his strength was unfathomable. It was the same feeling he had when facing the imperial tutor. The middle-aged man looked at Blue Merchant and waved his hand. The barbarian immediately let go of Blue Merchant. Teacher Lan, I didn't think that we would meet again after so many years. The middle-aged man smiled and walked over to give Blue Merchant a hug. Teacher Lan? This is? Lu Ming was a little confused. The barbarians seemed to be very respectful towards this man. It could be seen that he was an important figure among the barbarians. However, this man seemed to be very familiar with Blue Merchant. He didn't have any hostility and even hugged him. What was going on? And he even called him Teacher Lan? Etion, have you been in the barbarian tribe all these years? Blue Merchant said. That's right. I'm in the barbarian race. I'm the barbarian race's Void Annihilation Marshal. Etion smiled. What? You are the famous Void Annihilation Marshal. Blue Merchant's eyes suddenly widened. Lu Ming was equally shocked. He had been fighting with the barbarians for so many years. Naturally, he had heard of Void Annihilation Marshal. Void Annihilation Marshal was the commander-in-chief of the barbarian tribe in the war against the Taishu dynasty. His strength was unfathomable. He had fought with the Taishu dynasty for countless years and had killed countless experts from the Taishu dynasty. This man was Void Annihilation Marshal and he knew Blue Merchant? Lu Ming had many questions in his mind. Haha, you didn't expect this, right? When I saw the Dark Ape fighting tribe, I felt something was wrong. Teacher Lan, why don't you introduce them to me? Toward the end, Etion looked at Lu Ming. This. Blue Merchant hesitated and looked at the barbarians. Etion smiled knowingly and said, Don't worry. Although they are barbarians, they are my confidants. They are loyal to me. They are the kind that would risk their lives for me. That's good. Etion, this is Lu Ming, the descendant of the prince. Blue Merchant introduced. The prince he was referring to was Jing Yu. He is indeed the descendant of the prince. Etion's eyes lit up and he laughed wildly. Ha ha ha, good. You are indeed the descendant of the prince. Your talent is unparalleled. You are only at the 8th stage of the King God realm, but you can fight with the 2nd stage of the King God realm.
Even the prince was not as talented as you.
He looked at Lu Ming as if he was looking at a peerless jewel.
Lan Shu, who is he? Lu Ming asked Blue Merchant. Lu Ming. Let me introduce him to you. He is Yi Tian. He was one of the 3 war generals under Prince Jing Yu.
He was also the leader of the 3 war generals.
Blue Merchant said. The leader of the 3 war generals under Jing Yu?
Lu Ming's eyes lit up.
He then cupped his fists and said, Junior Lu Ming greets Senior. Ha ha ha, you are welcome. Seeing your talent, the prince will be able to rest in peace. Yi Tian laughed.
Towards the end, there was a hint of sorrow in his eyes.
Lu Ming and Blue Merchant were silent. After a while, Yi Tian smiled again and said, When I saw the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe last time, I had my doubts. The Dark Ape Fighting Tribe is under the command of the prince. Not many people know about it and they do not go to war easily. They hide in the Ghost region. Why would they come out to fight the barbarian tribe this time?
I suspected that it was you who had called them out, or perhaps the prince's successor had appeared. Hence, I passed down the order to only capture them alive.
Only capture them alive?
So they are not dead? Lu Ming was overjoyed.
Of course.
All these years, I have kept them in a place to cultivate peacefully.
Yi Tian explained. Great. Lu Ming could finally put down the huge rock in his heart. All these years, he had thought that his men were most likely dead after being captured by the barbarian tribe. He did not expect them to still be alive. This was a huge surprise. No wonder the barbarian tribe wanted to capture them alive.
It turned out that it was the order of the Void Annihilation Marshal. Let's go back to my barracks first,
Yi Tian said.
With a wave of his hand, a huge battleship appeared. They entered the battleship and arrived at the barbarian tribe headquarters. With Yi Tian leading the way, Lu Ming and the rest entered a huge battleship silently.
This battleship belonged to Yi Tian.
Without his order, no one could enter.
Lu Ming saw his men here.
When they saw Lu Ming, they were overjoyed.
Yi Tian, how did you become the Void Annihilation Marshal of the barbarian tribe? In a hall, Blue Merchant asked curiously. Back then, the prince was killed unjustly and I was surrounded. In the end, I desperately escaped. It took me tens of thousands of years to recover from my injuries. However, I had to take revenge. I didn't mind it, but the prince died unjustly. I wanted them to pay the price. However, with my strength alone, I couldn't take revenge at all. So, I changed my name and joined the barbarian tribe. I joined the army and hunted the people of the Taishu dynasty.
Then, step by step, I became the Void Annihilation Marshal.
I wanted to borrow the power of the barbarian tribe to make the Taishu dynasty pay the price. Yi Tian's eyes were filled with deep hatred. Chapter 3472. Hearing Yi Tian's explanation, everyone understood. Yi Tian had escaped with serious injuries. After recovering, he came to the barbarian tribe. He wanted to use the barbarian tribe's power to avenge Jing Yu.
He had been fighting with the Taishu Holy Dynasty all these years, and that was how he had become the Void Destroyer Marshal.
Yi Tian, if you want to avenge the prince, using the barbarian tribe's power is just a bad idea. Blue Merchant said. Oh. Does Master Lan have a good plan? Yi Tian asked. The barbarian tribe's strength is far from the Taishu dynasty. In fact, they are a little weaker. If you want to rely on the barbarian tribe to avenge the prince, you can only kill some unimportant people. It's impossible to reverse the case for the prince and punish the people who framed him. Blue Merchant said. Yi Tian frowned. He knew that Blue Merchant was right. Although he was the Void Destroyer Marshal and commanded thousands of troops, he could only fight against the Taishu dynasty's army. No matter how many troops he killed, it was useless. The Taishu dynasty was so vast. No matter how many troops he killed, there would be an endless stream of troops. However, it didn't affect the core members. With his combat power, it was impossible for him to kill his way to the Taishu dynasty. Although his combat power was strong, there were many in the Taishu dynasty who could match him. If you want to avenge the prince, you have to do it from within the Taishu dynasty. Find out the truth from within, kill the enemy, reverse the case for the prince, and prove the prince's innocence. Blue Merchant said. How do we do it from within the Taishu dynasty? Yi Tian asked. We have to rely on Lu Ming. Blue Merchant looked at Lu Ming and said, Now in the Taishu dynasty, No one knows that Lu Ming is the prince's descendant. With Lu Ming's talent, he will rise quickly.
He is now the governor of the general's residence.
As long as his strength continues to rise, he will become the governor of the Heavenly King's residence and become the core of the Taishu dynasty.
Then, he will be able to find out the truth and reverse the case for the prince.
Tian pondered and said, Master Lan is right. All right, I will leave with Lu Ming and assist Lu Ming. No, you can't leave. Blue Merchant shook his head. I can't leave? Why? Tian was stunned. With his strength, if he assisted Lu Ming secretly, Lu Ming's strength would soar quickly. You stay in the barbarian tribe for the time being. You will be more useful to Lu Ming. With the help of the barbarian tribe, Lu Ming can make more contributions. This way, he can improve his strength and status faster. Blue Merchant said, That's right, that's right. Why didn't I think of that? All right, I will stay in the barbarian tribe for the time being and assist Lu Ming secretly. Tian nodded and asked, Master Lan, Lu Ming, when do you plan to leave? As soon as possible. Lu Ming said. All right, I will arrange it. 3 days later, I will send someone to send you off. Tian said. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. 3 days later, a huge battleship flew in the direction of the Taishu dynasty. Inside the battleship were Tian's trusted subordinates from the barbarian tribe. They were not afraid of being checked by the barbarian tribe. They left the barbarian tribe's territory smoothly and arrived at a remote star region. This star region was barren and lonely. There were not many living creatures at the border between the barbarian tribe and the Taishu dynasty. Everyone, let's part ways here. A burly barbarian said. Goodbye. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Then, the barbarian tribe left in the battleship. Lu Ming took out a small battleship from the Jingyu scroll. It was a battleship belonging to the Taishu dynasty. He, Blue Merchant, and his subordinates entered the battleship. The battleship started and headed towards the Heavenly Chaos Star region. He wanted to return to the Heavenly Chaos Star region directly. In the battleship, Lu Ming looked at a jade token in his hand. This jade token was given to him by Tian. It was actually a map. On the map, there were a series of locations where the barbarian tribe troops were stationed. Every location of the barbarian tribe troops was clearly marked. With this map, Lu Ming knew the barbarian tribe's troops like the back of his hand. He could defeat them one by one. This was given to Lu Ming by Tian so that Lu Ming could quickly accumulate merits. In addition, Tian also told Lu Ming a secret. Tian had a secret base in the Taishu dynasty. If Lu Ming wanted to contact him in the future, he could pass the message from that secret base. With this, I believe I can be promoted to the Marquis Mansion soon, Lu Ming whispered, revealing a confident expression. After some time, Lu Ming and the others finally returned to the Hidden Dragon Mansion in the Heavenly Chaos Star region. The Mansion Master is back. The Mansion Master is fine. Suddenly, the Hidden Dragon Mansion was in an uproar. They were extremely excited. Yuan Song quickly came out to greet them. Haha, Mansion Master. I knew you would be fine. The Mansion Master is blessed. How could anything happen to him so easily? Yuan Song grinned, his face full of joy. Senior Yuan Song. Lu Ming smiled and greeted Yuan Song and the others. He then looked around and asked, Where's Autumn Moon? Why isn't she here? Is she in seclusion? Normally, when Lu Ming returned after such a long time, Autumn Moon would have come out to see him. Autumn Moon. Hearing Lu Ming ask about Autumn Moon, Yuan Song's face darkened. He didn't dare to look into Lu Ming's eyes. Lu Ming's heart trembled. He had a bad premonition. What's wrong with Autumn Moon? Tell me. Lu Ming shouted coldly with a commanding tone. He was really anxious. Mansion Master, more than 100 years ago, the 8th Barbarian Exterminating Army sent news that you had died in battle. Miss Autumn Moon panicked and said she didn't believe that you had died in battle. She went to the barbarian tribe's territory alone to look for you. Yuan Song said. What? Lu Ming was shocked and his face turned pale. Autumn Moon went to the barbarian tribe's territory alone? How could that be? With Autumn Moon's cultivation, wouldn't it be dangerous for her to go to the barbarian tribe's territory alone? Yuan Song, why didn't you stop her? Lu Ming shouted with a cold expression. Mansion Master, I did stop her, but I couldn't stop her forever. Miss Autumn Moon sneaked away when I wasn't paying attention.
Sigh. Yuan Song sighed helplessly.
Autumn Moon. Lu Ming whispered. In fact, he knew that he couldn't stop her. He knew Autumn Moon's personality very well. Although she was obedient in front of him, she was very stubborn. Once she decided on something, no one could persuade her other than him, Lu Yuntian, or Li Ping. When she heard that Lu Ming had died in battle, she would definitely go to find him. Autumn Moon. You'll be fine. Lu Ming whispered and left immediately. He went to Yi Tian's secret base in the Taishu dynasty. Now, he could only rely on Yi Tian. He wanted Yi Tian to help him find out about Autumn Moon in the barbarian tribe. Yi Tian had great influence in the barbarian tribe. If Yi Tian couldn't find anything, it would be useless no matter how anxious he was. Even if he went to the barbarian tribe's territory personally, it would be useless. Instead, he would get himself involved. Everything went smoothly. Lu Ming successfully passed the news to Yi Tian. Now he could only wait. Chapter 3473. A few months later, Lu Ming received news from Yi Tian. Yi Tian said that he had sent people to investigate. No one had ever seen Autumn Moon in the barbarian tribe. Yi Tian said that Autumn Moon might not have gone to the barbarian tribe. He didn't go to the barbarian tribe? What's going on? Lu Ming was confused. With Autumn Moon's character, he would definitely go to the barbarian tribe to find him. If he didn't go, there was only one possibility. Something must have happened along the way, causing him to be unable to go. Where did Autumn Moon go? What happened? Lu Ming's heart was in a mess. He was really worried that something might have happened to Autumn Moon. After half a month, Lu Ming gradually calmed down. It was useless to be anxious. If Autumn Moon was fine, he would definitely come back to find him. Perhaps Autumn Moon had encountered some fortuitous encounter and was cultivating in seclusion somewhere.
After all, at their level, it was normal for them to cultivate in seclusion for tens of thousands of years.
Of course, Lu Ming also sent a large number of people to find out where Autumn Moon was. No matter what, I have to continue. Lu Ming took a deep breath to calm himself down. The next day, Lu Ming and Yuan Song left the Hidden Dragon Mansion and headed to the 9-extinction Heavenly King Mansion in the Taishu dynasty. That's right. He wanted to go back to the Ghost's Den and bring out all the experts of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe. It was time to mobilize all the members of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe. If he wanted to accumulate more merits, he would have to mobilize more experts. Moreover, he had obtained a large number of primordial divine crystals and primordial spiritual liquid from the primitive divine spirit world. He was going to start cultivating the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe. Everything went smoothly. Lu Ming returned to the Ghost's Den and told his opinion. The tribe leader of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe, Yuan Huan, immediately gave the order to gather the experts of the tribe. Of course, it would take some time to gather the experts of the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe since many of them were cultivating in seclusion. Yuan Huan, have you heard of the primitive divine body? Lu Ming asked. Of course I've heard of the primordial divine body. Yuan Huan said. Does the Nether Ape Battle Clan have a way to cultivate the primordial divine body? Lu Ming said. No. The primordial godly body technique is extremely rare. Moreover, for a special race like us, we must have a suitable physique. Unless we have the primordial godly body secret technique related to the ape race. Yuan Huan said. Secret techniques? That's easy. I happen to have one here. Take it and have a look. Lu Ming took out a secret manual and handed it to Yuan Huan. Lu Ming had obtained this secret technique from a prodigy of the primordial divine spirit world. It was called the King Kong Raging Ape. Primordial divine body secret technique. Yuan Huan received it.
His body shivered as he hurried to read it. The more he read, the more excited he became.
It's really the secret technique of the primordial divine body, and it's related to the ape species. Yuan Huan was so excited that his face turned red. This kind of secret technique was extremely rare. It could not be found in the entire Taishu dynasty. It's a pity that the conditions to cultivate the primordial divine body are too harsh. It's too difficult to cultivate it successfully. Yuan Huan sighed. The conditions to cultivate the primordial divine body secret technique were too harsh.
Only a very small number of exceptional prodigies would be able to cultivate it successfully. Ordinary people would not be able to cultivate it successfully, especially those who were old and had cultivated it for many years. I've obtained a treasure. It might be able to help you awaken the bloodline in your body. It might be helpful for cultivating this secret technique. Lu Ming smiled and took out a jade bottle. The jade bottle contained the primordial spiritual liquid. Lu Ming opened the jade bottle and guided it with his divine power. A drop of primordial spiritual liquid flew out. Instantly, a mysterious fluctuation was emitted. When Yuan Huan and Yuan Song saw the drop of primordial spiritual liquid, their eyes widened. Although they did not know what the primordial spiritual liquid was, when they saw the drop of primordial spiritual liquid, their blood started to boil. There was a desire in their hearts to obtain this drop of primordial spiritual liquid. This was an instinctive reaction. They instinctively felt that this drop of primordial spiritual liquid would be of great help to them. Warlord, this is? Yuan Huan took a deep breath to calm himself down. This is the primordial spiritual liquid. It was left behind by the primordial divine ape. Lu Ming said. What? The primordial divine ape. Yuan Huan and Yuan Song exclaimed in unison. The primordial divine ape was a primordial divine spirit. It was the ancestor of all apes. Of course, there might be more than one primordial divine ape. However, as long as it was a treasure left behind by the primordial divine ape, it would be a fatal temptation to apes. Yuan Huan, try consuming this drop of primordial spiritual liquid. Lu Ming said. Okay. Yuan Huan replied with a trembling voice. He did not refuse because he really wanted it. After taking a deep breath, the drop of primordial spiritual liquid flew into Yuan Huan's mouth. Yuan Huan immediately sat down cross-legged and began to refine it. A layer of light appeared on Yuan Huan's body and enveloped him. Roar! However, not long after, Yuan Huan suddenly let out a terrifying roar. His body rapidly enlarged and turned into a giant ape. He roared at the sky. A layer of bloody mist appeared on his body and turned into a giant ape. It looked very similar to the dark ape fighting tribe, but its aura was shocking. The bloodline in Yuan Huan's body was stimulated. What's going on? It's the patriarch. What's wrong with the patriarch? Yuan Huan's strange behavior also alarmed the other dark apes. Many of the dark ape battle tribe members rushed over. The patriarch is cultivating. Don't disturb him. Yuan Song shouted. Yuan Song was the great elder of the dark ape fighting tribe. He had a high prestige in the tribe. When he shouted, the other dark apes stopped. Roar! Yuan Huan continued to roar. The giant ape formed by the bloody mist on his body grew larger and more solid. Soon, 2 hours had passed. At this time, an earth-shattering aura erupted from Yuan Huan's body. This aura was too terrifying and unfathomable. When it erupted, it felt as if the entire world was shaking. So strong. Lu Ming was shocked. He felt that it was difficult to breathe. He was about to be crushed to death by this pressure. Battle Ancestor, be careful. Yuan Song pulled Lu Ming and retreated. At the same time, he said with a joyful face, the patriarch is about to break through. Break through? Lu Ming was stunned. That's right. The patriarch's cultivation used to be at the peak of the 7th level Divine Lord realm. However, he has been stuck at that level for more than 2 stellar years. I didn't expect that he would use a drop of primordial spirit liquid to stimulate his bloodline and break through the bottleneck. He is about to break through to the 8th level Divine Lord realm. Yuan Song explained. 8th level Divine Lord realm. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. In fact, a 7th level Divine Lord realm expert was already a top expert in the Taishu dynasty. For example, the heavenly kings of the 27 heavenly king palaces and some weaker heavenly kings were also 7th level divine lords. An 8th level divine lord realm expert was an expert among experts. Yuan Huan's breakthrough to the 8th level divine lord realm was undoubtedly a great help to Lu Ming. Chapter 3474. Yuan Huan's breakthrough lasted for a full hour before stopping. He ended his cultivation. Whoosh! Yuan Huan took a deep breath, then got up. His eyes sparkled, and he seemed to be several decades younger. Yuan Huan thanks Battle Ancestor for granting my wish. Yuan Huan came in front of Lu Ming and bowed deeply. This time, it was all thanks to Lu Ming that he could break through. Originally, he had been stuck at peak 7th level Divine Lord for more than 2 stellar years and might not be able to break through in his lifetime. This time,
It was all thanks to Lu Ming's primordial spirit liquid that he could break through in one go. He was sincerely grateful to Lu Ming. Don't mention it. How is it?
Can you cultivate the primordial divine body now?
Lu Ming asked.
After absorbing the primordial spirit liquid, the bloodline in the depths of my body has already been stimulated. Cultivating the primordial divine body is absolutely no problem.
Yuan Huan said, glowing with energy.
Cultivation breaking through to 8th level Divine Lord, plus cultivating the primordial divine body, his combat strength had skyrocketed by God knows how many times compared to before. From now on, there were extremely few who could defeat him in the Taishu dynasty. Apart from those terrifying existences at 9th level Divine Lord and above, virtually no one could match him.
Battle Ancestor.
By the side, Yuan Song stared at Lu Ming with fiery eyes, wanting to speak but hesitating.
Haha, Yuan Song, you naturally won't be left out. Take it.
Lu Ming took out a jade bottle, and another drop of primordial spirit liquid flew out.
This kind of thing more was useless. One drop was enough.
Just like Yuan Huan, one drop stimulated the bloodline in the depths of his body, and at the same time, broke through cultivation in one go. But that was because his cultivation was originally at peak 7th level Divine Lord and was just a hair away from breaking through.
That was why he could break through.
Continuing to refine the primordial spirit liquid now would not have much effect.
Many thanks, Battle Ancestor. Yuan Song was overjoyed.
He received the primordial spirit liquid and swallowed it, then started refining. Half a day later, Yuan Song succeeded in refining. Not only stimulated the bloodline in his body, but his cultivation also broke through. Yuan Song's cultivation was originally at peak 6th level Divine Lord and was just a step away from 7th level Divine Lord. Like Yuan Huan, when he stimulated his bloodline, his cultivation also broke through in one go.
Good. Lu Ming was ecstatic.
7th level Divine Lord, in the Taishu dynasty, that was a true top expert. Like the 9 Absolute Heavenly King, 9 Sabers Heavenly King, they were also just 7th level Divine Lord cultivation. In the past, the Nether Ape Battle Tribe's strength was similar to the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace. But now with Yuan Song and Yuan Huan's breakthrough, the Nether Ape Battle Tribe had completely surpassed the 9 Extinction Heavenly King Palace.
Yuan Huan, Yuan Song, bring as many people as you can and follow me to the Heaven Chaos Starfield. Once we're there, we'll choose suitable people to refine the Origin Spirit Liquid. Also take these.
Lu Ming waved his hand and 2 storage rings flew towards Yuan Song and Yuan Huan. Battle Ancestor, this is the primordial divine crystal. It can help you cultivate the primordial divine body,
Lu Ming said.
The 2 of them were greatly shocked, and their eyes revealed a trace of horror. What had the Battle Ancestor experienced during this period of time? How could he have so many treasures? He was even more unfathomable than Jingyu back then. Of course, the 2 of them were overjoyed. Lu Ming gave Yuan Huan and Yuan Song 10,000 primordial divine crystals each.
It was enough for them to use for a long time.
In any case, Lu Ming now had a lot of primordial divine crystals. One had to know that in the primordial divine spirit world, the storage rings of more than 10 mountain lords were in his hands. The total number of primordial divine crystals in them exceeded 1 billion. A few days later, a large number of Dark Ape Battle Tribe members gathered. This time, at least 80% of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe's experts left with Lu Ming. Among them, there were 120 Divine Lords. In addition to the 11 that followed Lu Ming, there were a total of 131 people. As for the Divine Kings, there were 100,000. This was a terrifying force. Moreover, Yuan Huan also wanted to leave with them. More than 100,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members followed Lu Ming and left the Ghost region, heading towards the Heaven Chaos Starfield. A few months later, they arrived at the Heaven Chaos Starfield's Hidden Dragon Mansion. With the addition of this group of experts, Lu Ming's strength skyrocketed, surpassing some of the Heavenly King's mansions. Seeing that Lu Ming had brought so many experts with him, those who had previously sided with Lu Ming were dumbfounded. Their hearts were filled with shock, and they were even more determined to follow Lu Ming. After Lu Ming brought the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members to the Hidden Dragon Star, he did not immediately lead them to conquer the barbarian tribe. Instead, he distributed the primordial spiritual liquid for them to refine. Lu Ming had obtained more than 100,000 drops of primordial spiritual liquid. More than 100,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members were enough. In a vast and uninhabited area, the 100,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members were stationed here to refine the primordial spiritual liquid.
A few days later. Roar, roar, roar.
The 100,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members all stimulated the primordial divine ape bloodline in their bodies. This way, they could all cultivate the primordial divine body. Lu Ming was looking forward to seeing more than 100,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members cultivate the primordial divine body. When the primordial divine body appeared, the 100,000 giant divine apes would struggle in the starry sky.
It would probably shock countless people.
At the same time, while they were refining the primordial spiritual liquid, a group of Dark Ape Battle Tribe members broke through in their cultivation. This group of Abyssal Ape Battle Tribe members had been stuck at the peak of a certain cultivation level before they were able to make a breakthrough.
Not everyone was able to make a breakthrough. This time the breakthrough was shocking. A total of 50 peak divine kings had entered the divine sovereign realm. 50 divine sovereigns had suddenly appeared. It would be shocking if word got out.
One had to know that the Dark Ape Battle Tribe had only accumulated about 150 divine sovereigns over the years.
This time, there were 50 more.
These 50 divine sovereigns used to be peak divine kings, and they had been stuck at that level for a long time. This time, after they stimulated their bloodline, they broke through in one fell swoop. As for the divine king realm, many of them had made a breakthrough and increased their cultivation by one level. The overall strength of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe had increased by a large margin. Of course, this breakthrough was a one-time thing. It was because the Dark Ape Battle Tribe had been accumulating strength for a long time, and with the stimulation of the primordial spiritual liquid, they had broken through. They would not have such an opportunity in the future. Then, Lu Ming distributed the primordial divine crystal and the primordial divine body secret skill to each Dark Ape Battle Tribe member.
All right, now half of you will follow me to fight the barbarian tribe. The other half will stay here and cultivate the primordial divine body. We will take turns. Lu Ming ordered.
Yes. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe members replied loudly, their voices shaking the heavens. Now, all of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members were sincerely loyal to Lu Ming. They were willing to fight to the death for Lu Ming. In the end, it was decided that Yuan Huan would stay behind and lead a portion of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members to cultivate, while Lu Ming would lead Yuan Huan and half of the Dark Ape Battle Tribe to accumulate merits.
Chapter 3475.
At the border between the barbarian race and the Taishu dynasty, in a barren galaxy.
On this day, a battleship suddenly appeared.
According to the map provided by Absolute Etion, there is a barbarian race army stationed here.
Let's destroy them.
Lu Ming's eyes flashed coldly. He had found this place based on the map provided by Absolute Etion. There was a barbarian race army stationed here.
Lu Ming waved his hand and huge rocks flew out. These were all rest reflection stones.
This time, Lu Ming had specially sent people to the Grand Council to get dozens of rest reflection stones. This way, he could record their contributions in all aspects.
All right, let's kill. Lu Ming waved his hand. Swoosh, swoosh.
More than 50,000 Dark Ape Battle Tribe soldiers charged towards the galaxy ahead.
Enemy attack.
That seemingly desolate galaxy immediately let out a roar, and then a large number of experts flew out from the various planets. There were at least a few 100,000 barbarian race soldiers. The two armies collided in the blink of an eye.
Boom, boom.
In the starry sky, there was a terrifying explosion. Then, a huge planet exploded. There were Divine Lord realm powerhouses fighting. However, it was obvious that although the Dark Ape Battle Tribe had fewer people, they had the upper hand in terms of combat power. One should know that Lu Ming had brought more than 80 Divine Lords with him this time. Moreover, there was Yuan Tsong, a 7th-level Divine Lord expert. There were also a few 6th-level Divine Lords. In this barbarian race army, the strongest expert was only a 5th-level Divine Lord.
Boom! Yuan Tsong attacked. His terrifying fist was shocking.
With a punch, thousands of barbarian race soldiers exploded. Regardless of whether they were Divine Kings or Divine Lords, they were all killed in one punch. 7th-level Divine Lord. Damn it. Why did the Taishu dynasty send out such a terrifying existence? Also, how did they know that we are here? In the depths of the galaxy, a barbarian race expert roared. He was the commander of this army and had the cultivation of a 5th-level Divine Lord. However, at this moment, he was so scared that his face was pale.
Commander, This is bad. We can't hold on anymore. More than half of our casualties are about to be killed. A barbarian came to report. Retreat, retreat. The barbarian commander shouted. Retreat? Where do you want to go? A cold voice sounded.
The ape had appeared above their heads without them noticing.
Oh no! The barbarian commander was terrified to the extreme. Boom! The ape threw out a punch. A gigantic fist that covered the entire sky came crashing down towards the leaders of the barbarian race. As the fist struck down, these people could not withstand it at all. Their bodies exploded one after another. Even that 5th-level Divine Lord barbarian race commander was also the same. 5th-level Divine Lord and 7th-level Divine Lord. The disparity was too great. Under the fist seal pressing down, his body directly exploded. Boom! In the end, the fist mark landed on the planet. An earthquake of a few hundred magnitude occurred on the planet, and huge cracks appeared on the surface of the planet. Then, endless lava soared into the sky. Then, the entire planet exploded like a brilliant firework. With the death of the leader of the barbarian tribe, the rest of the barbarian tribe had no power to fight back. They were constantly being hunted down. Before long, the entire group of barbarian tribe members had been hunted down. Let's go to the next location. Lu Ming ordered. With Etion's map, Lu Ming had a clear idea of where the barbarian army was stationed. He also knew which route would not be discovered, and which would allow him to approach the barbarian army silently. In the next 3 years, Lu Ming led his men to conquer the north and south. In total, they killed 9 barbarian tribe troops, which added up to a few million. This was definitely a great contribution. If he reported this, Hidden Dragon Mansion would definitely be promoted and become a marquee mansion. As for Lu Ming, he would also become a marquee. The last target is Tsongming Galaxy. There is also a barbarian tribe army lurking here. As long as we defeat this barbarian tribe army, we will stop. Lu Ming said. In fact, Lu Ming had killed so many barbarian tribe members over the past few years. The barbarian tribe was shaken and began to withdraw their forces. At the same time, they sent out experts to set up defenses and look for opportunities to counterattack. Hence, there were not many opportunities left. At the same time, Etion could not go overboard. Otherwise, the barbarian tribe would suspect him. After this, it was time to end it. They headed towards Tsongming Galaxy. At the same time, in the starry sky far away from Lu Ming, a group of battleships was flying. This army was the right wing of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army of the Taishu dynasty. The commander was Shi Huang, which was the army that Lu Ming and the others were in. I received news that there is a barbarian tribe army lurking in Tsongming Galaxy. Hurry over and eliminate this barbarian tribe army with lightning speed. This will be a great contribution. Do you understand? Shi Huang ordered loudly. Yes. His men accepted the order. Then, the battleships rumbled and broke through the sky, heading towards Tsongming Galaxy. After some time, when Shi Huang's fleet approached Tsongming Galaxy, they saw fireworks erupting in Tsongming Galaxy. It was the scene of a planet exploding. It was extremely terrifying. At the same time, screams and battle cries resounded in the starry sky. Damn it! Someone beat us to it. Shi Huang's face was ghastly pale. When he received the news, he immediately rushed over. He originally thought that he would be able to get a great contribution. He did not expect someone to beat him to it.
Which army are they from?
Shi Huang asked. General, the distance is too far and I can't see clearly. I can barely see that the ones attacking the barbarians are giant apes. A deputy general reported. Giant apes. Shi Huang frowned. He could not help but think of Lu Ming. Back then, there were also some dark ape battle race subordinates under Lu Ming who could transform into giant apes. Could it be Lu Ming? Impossible. Shi Huang shook his head and smiled. Lu Ming was already dead. He personally sent Lu Ming into a perilous situation. It could not be Lu Ming. Moreover, even if it was Lu Ming, did he have so many experts under him? One had to know that the barbarian tribe army lurking here had 5th-level divine lords. Could Lu Ming's men deal with them? Humph! How dare you snatch my credit? Let's wait here and see who did it. They will have to pay a price. Shi Huang snorted coldly. Even if it was another army of the Taishu dynasty, he also wanted to get some benefits. The battle did not last for too long. Soon, The battle was basically over.
Battle ancestor, there seems to be an army outside Songming Galaxy, but it's from the Taishu dynasty.
Yuan Zhong reported to Lu Ming. The Taishu dynasty's army? Let's go and take a look.
Lu Ming frowned, then led his men and flew out of Songming Galaxy.
Where's your commander? Who is it? Ask him to come out and talk to me.
Shi Huang stepped out and his voice could be heard from afar. However, before he could finish his words, his eyes widened involuntarily.
It was as if he had seen a ghost.
He stared ahead and yelled, Lu Ming, how could it be you? The right wing of the Barbarian Extermination 8th Army, Shi Huang.
The corners of Lu Ming's mouth curled up slightly. What a coincidence. Chapter 3476.
Lu Ming, you're still alive?
Shi Huang roared. He was really surprised. He sent Lu Ming to the planet with the wormhole to use Lu Ming as bait.
As expected, the planet was besieged by a large number of barbarians. Lu Ming was bound to die under the siege of so many barbarian experts.
As for him, the Xueqi army attacked calmly from behind.
True enough, they annihilated many barbarians and gained a lot of credit. Later on, when he recaptured the planet, he did not find any traces of Lu Ming and the rest. He speculated that Lu Ming and the others had probably rushed into the wormhole, but the opposite side of the wormhole was the barbarian territory. Lu Ming would definitely die if he went there. Over the years, he had always thought that Lu Ming was dead, but now he suddenly saw him. He was really shocked. Shi Huang, are you disappointed to see that I'm not dead?
Lu Ming sneered.
After all, Shi Huang was the right-wing general of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army. He commanded tens of millions of troops and had outstanding wisdom. He soon calmed down, and a few wisps of cold light flashed in his eyes.
Lu Ming, how dare you?
Since you're not dead, why didn't you return to the army? Moreover, you sent troops without permission.
You violated the military rules. How should you be punished? Shi Huang roared. He directly put a big hat on Lu Ming.
Back then, you deliberately used me as bait to send me to my death?
Now you want me to return to the army?
Haha, how shameless you are.
Lu Ming responded with a sneer. How dare you slander me?
You're offending your superior. You'll be punished for multiple crimes.
Shi Huang roared.
Oh, and then Lu Ming spread his hands and looked at Shi Huang with contempt. Lu Ming's action made the cold light in Shi Huang's eyes even more intense. This was a blatant provocation. Men, take this sinner down and punish him according to military law.
Shi Huang gave the order coldly.
Yes. Immediately, two generals in iron armor strode forward and dashed toward Lu Ming. These two armored generals, their strength was very strong. They were shockingly both first-level Divine Lord cultivation. Their speed was very fast, and in the blink of an eye, they closed in on Lu Ming. The two of them each held a chain and revealed a sinister expression as they roared, "Brat, surrender." As he spoke, he brandished his iron chain and wrapped it around Lu Ming.
Kill him, Lu Ming said calmly.
Boom. Next to Lu Ming, a warrior from the Dark Ape Battle Clan stepped out. The void trembled as a metal rod swept towards the two armored generals. The iron staff was like a mountain, pressing down on the starry sky. The entire starry sky shook. The power was too terrifying. This Dark Ape Battle Clan member had the cultivation of a third-level divine monarch. How dare you? No. The two armored generals roared in horror. But in the next moment, the iron cudgel swept over and their bodies exploded, turning them into ashes. Third-level divine monarchs could kill second-level divine monarchs, let alone first-level divine monarchs. After killing the two armored generals, the Dark Ape Battle Clan member returned to Lu Ming's side without saying a word. Shi Huang was stunned. His subordinates were also stunned. It wasn't that he didn't know that Lu Ming had experts in his army. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to destroy the barbarian race in Songming Galaxy. But they didn't expect Lu Ming to be so bold as to kill their people directly. Who were they? The people of the Barbarian Exterminating 8th Army had a very high status on the battlefield, and Shi Huang was Lu Ming's immediate superior. Not only did Lu Ming kill his own people, but he also killed his superior's people. This was simply audacious to the extreme. Lawless. Lawless. Lu Ming, this is a serious crime. A crime that deserves to be punished by death. Shi Huang roared. Oh, and then Lu Ming still said the same words, indifferent, contemptuous, and disdainful. Shi Huang trembled with anger and his eyes became colder. Then, I'll sentence you to death. Bang! Finished talking, Shi Huang took a step out. The sky shook violently. The entire starry sky was trembling. An incomparably horrifying pressure pervaded the sky. 6th level Divine Lord. Beside Lu Ming, the ape whispered. Lu Ming nodded slightly. He wasn't too surprised by Shi Huang's cultivation. He heard that the barbarian exterminating 13 armies. Each army's commander-in-chief was in existence above the 7th level Divine Lord realm. And as the general of the 8th Army's right wing, Shi Huang had a 6th level Divine Lord realm cultivation. It wasn't surprising. Come men, kill this sinner together with me. Shi Huang spoke coldly. Yes. Immediately, several tens of people stepped out and followed Shi Huang. These several dozen people were all Shi Huang's trusted aides. They were also the strongest group of people. They stepped out seemingly slowly, but their speed was actually astonishing. In a blink of an eye, they closed in on Lu Ming and them. Apart from Shi Huang, the rest can live if they stop. Otherwise die. Lu Ming's cold voice spread throughout the sky, but what he got in return was only a wave of ridicule. Ha ha ha, what did this kid say? He wants us to die? This kid has a problem with his head. Doesn't take a look at what kind of situation he's in. General Shi Huang personally took action and he can still say these words. His heart is big enough. Behind Shi Huang, some people laughed coldly to no end. Shi Huang was a 6th level Divine Lord existence. Killing a 5th level Divine Lord was as easy as taking something out of his pocket. Lu Ming could actually still say these words. What was it if not a problem with his head? I'll see how you make me die, kill. On Shi Huang's right side, there was a burly man who was transformed from a giant bear. He gave a loud roar and smacked a palm out toward Lu Ming. Then, a black bear paw blotted out the sky and covered the sun, pressing toward Lu Ming, wanting to smash Lu Ming into minced meat. Horrifying. Incomparably horrifying. This giant bear was one of Shi Huang's deputy generals. He had a 5th level Divine Lord cultivation. No idea how many times stronger compared to a 3rd level Divine Lord. But, facing such a horrifying palm, Lu Ming's expression remained calm from start to finish. He did not even raise his eyelids. Beside Lu Ming, an old nether ape fighting race member made a move. It was not Yuan Song, but an elder of the nether ape fighting race, a 6th level Divine Lord existence. He held a giant saber in his hand and slashed out. The saber light slashed out violently, instantly illuminating the universe's starry sky as if it was going to split the starry sky in half. This is a 6th level Divine Lord. That black bear's eyes widened all at once. His expression changed wildly, nearly frightened to death. He wanted to take back his bear paw, but it was already too late. He only had time to let out a roar of despair. Then, saber light flashed, blood light appeared, and a bear paw was chopped off. At the same time, saber light did not stop, slashing toward the giant bear's head. The giant bear never thought that Lu Ming's subordinate actually had a 6th level Divine Lord existence. Hence, he did not plan on dodging or retreating at all. In fact, even if he was prepared, it was also too late. Poowork! The saber light slashed down, directly splitting the giant bear into 2 halves, dying on the spot. Silence. At this moment, the universe's starry sky became deathly silent. Everyone on the right wing of the barbarian exterminating 8th Army opened their eyes wide, looking at this scene in disbelief. A 5th level Divine Lord Deputy General was actually killed in one move. They thought that they were dreaming. At this moment, Lu Ming reached his hand out, catching a black bear paw in his hand, and said, "Today there's bear paw to eat." Chapter 3477. Today there's bear paw to eat. Lu Ming's indifferent voice came out. Only then did Shi Huang react. Lu Ming, your people dare to kill my deputy general? This is my deputy general. This is the deputy general of the barbarian exterminating 8th Army. He has made great contributions to the sacred dynasty. How dare you? Wild Rhino roared hysterically, its eyes turning red. Oh, and then Lu Ming said that sentence again, downplaying it as if he did something insignificant. Shi Huang nearly vomited blood from anger and roared angrily. This is a major crime. I'm going to report it to the Crown Prince, report it to the Sacred Emperor, and exterminate your entire family.
Didn't you want to kill me personally just now? Why do you want to report it now? Lu Ming said with a mocking smile. Shi Huang's expression was grim and ugly. But personally kill Lu Ming? Was that possible? There was actually a 6th-level Divine Lord existence by Lu Ming's side too. This point, Shi Huang never dreamed of it. What kind of existence was a 6th-level Divine Lord? In the barbarian exterminating 8th Army, to be able to be the right-wing general, the number of 6th-level Divine Lord existences in the entire barbarian exterminating 8th Army did not exceed 2 fingers. Such a character, placed in the entire Taishu dynasty, he was a big shot. One had to know, some heavenly kings of heavenly kings' manners were just 7th-level Divine Lords. This kind of character, as long as he took another step forward, he could be on equal footing with heavenly kings. Such a person, Lu Ming actually had him by his side? And with such a character, it was already impossible for him to want to kill Lu Ming.
He could only report it to the Crown Prince and the Sacred Emperor.
However, it's already impossible for you to report it. The matter of you screwing me over that day, it's time to settle it today. I'll use your head to offset your sin. Lu Ming's voice became incomparably icy. You want to kill me? Haha, you think that you can do it? Shi Huang laughed loudly. Similarly, a 6th-level Divine Lord, if he wanted to leave, could the other party make him stay? But in the next moment, he could not laugh anymore. Behind Lu Ming, several elderly Dark Ape Battle Clan members stepped forward. Their bodies emanated a terrifying aura that locked onto Shi Huang. 6th-level Divine Lords. All of them were 6th-level Divine Lords. 3 6th-level Divine Lords. Shi Huang's expression changed drastically. His face was filled with disbelief. The people from the right wing of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army were almost scared to death. Shi Huang's subordinates looked at each other and saw fear in each other's eyes. Then, they slowly retreated. Did not dare to make a move anymore. Facing 3 6th-level Divine Lords, if they were to make a move, there was only death. What Lu Ming targeted was Shi Huang, not them. How do you have so many experts? Shi Huang roared loudly and was still slightly unable to accept this. This was a 6th-level Divine Lord, not cabbages that could be grabbed in large handfuls. You talk too much. I'll send you on your way. Lu Ming ordered coldly. Kill. The 3 Dark Ape Combat Tribe members charged toward the Wild Rhino. Damn it! The Wild Rhino roared and turned into a streak of rainbow light, rushing upward. Facing 3 same-level existences, he did not have the heart to continue fighting at all. He could only escape. He wanted to report this to the higher-ups and punish Lu Ming. However, the attacks of the 3 Dark Ape Combat Tribe powerhouses had already arrived, forming an encirclement, blocking all of the Wild Rhino's escape routes. The Wild Rhino roared and attacked with all his might. 2 battle sabers appeared in his hands and he slashed out several hundred sabers frenziedly. Bang! 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 Both sides collided continuously. But the Wild Rhino was not a match at all when fighting 1 against 3. His body trembled violently and he was blasted out. Following that, a Dark Ape Combat Tribe member seized the opportunity and slammed a punch onto the Wild Rhino's shoulder. The Wild Rhino gave a muffled groan, his body retreating several tens of millions of miles, spewing out a mouthful of blood. The Wild Rhino let out a loud roar. His body changed rapidly, turning into a huge rhinoceros. This rhinoceros's fur was green and there was a single horn on its head. He roared loudly and turned into a streak of rainbow light, flying in a direction. That direction was already blocked by a Dark Ape Combat Tribe member. An iron rod smashed toward the Wild Rhino. Get lost for me! The Wild Rhino roared. Blazing flames spread out from his body. He was burning his divine power and was going all out. He had no choice but to go all out. He could see that Lu Ming was extremely daring and really wanted to kill him. If he did not go all out, he was afraid that he would really lose his life here. The Wild Rhino's combat strength was very strong. He fought with the barbarian tribe all year round and had rich combat experience. There were close to 10 6th-level Divine Lords in the barbarian exterminating 8th Army. But the fact that the Wild Rhino could sit on the throne of the right-wing general meant that he was naturally outstanding. Among those of the same level, he was considered strong. Now that he was burning his divine power, his combat strength had become even stronger. Bang! The Wild Rhino's horn collided with the iron rod of the Dark Ape Combat Tribe member. There was an earth-shattering roar,
and the dark ape combat tribe member's expression changed as he retreated rapidly.
How could the wild rhino miss this opportunity?
He increased his speed to the maximum and rushed out of the encirclement of the 3 dark apes. In an instant, he had flown 1,000,000 miles away.
Lu Ming, just wait for your death.
Just wait for the Crown Prince and the Saint Emperor's punishment. The wild rhino rushed out of the encirclement, heaved a sigh of relief, and then roared.
He wanted Lu Ming to die miserably. However, Lu Ming's expression remained calm.
There was even a hint of a sneer at the corner of his mouth.
Was it possible for the wild rhino to escape?
When the wild rhino saw Lu Ming's expression, he felt an inexplicable chill in his heart. Then, he looked forward and turned pale with fright. This was because there was a figure standing in front of him without him noticing. This figure was none other than Yuan Kong. "Get out of my way!"
The wild rhino roared. The horn on his head shone brightly.
His huge body and the horn seemed to have turned into a saber as he rushed toward Yuan Kong. Bang!
Yuan Song was very direct and threw out a punch. The huge fist print was extremely fast.
Before the wild rhino could react, Yuan Song's fist had already landed on the wild rhino's horn. With a crack, the wild rhino's horn was directly broken. His head shook violently, and with a crack, his neck was broken by the terrifying force. His head was almost smashed into his neck.
Wild Rhino's body retreated rapidly. As he retreated, he coughed up blood. He was seriously injured.
7th level Divine Lord. 7th level Divine Lord.
Wild Rhino roared in disbelief. His heart was about to explode as he looked at Yuan Song in shock.
There was actually a 7th level Divine Lord existence by Lu Ming's side.
How was this possible?
A 7th level Divine Lord could become an overlord in the Taishu dynasty.
How could he join Lu Ming?
When the rest of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army's right wing heard Wild Rhino's roar, they were all dumbfounded. 7th level Divine Lord. That was the realm of their commander.
Countless people were trembling in fright.
Their faces were pale, afraid that Lu Ming would find trouble with them.
Yuan Song, kill him.
Lu Ming said coldly.
No, you can't kill me.
I'm the general of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army's right wing. I've made great contributions to the sacred dynasty.
You can't kill me. Wild Rhino roared desperately. His eyes were full of panic. He was afraid. He was really afraid.
You've made great contributions to the sacred dynasty.
What does that have to do with me?
If you want to kill me, you have to be prepared to be killed by me,
Lu Ming said indifferently. Chapter 3478. Lu Ming ordered.
Yuan Song stepped out and charged toward Shi Huang.
Ah!
Shi Huang roared, wanting to escape in another direction. However, 3 6th level Divine Lords from the Dark Ape Battle Tribe blocked his escape route.
Attack! All of you attack!
Destroy this traitor!
Attack!
This is a military order. Shi Huang roared crazily, wanting to call the people of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army to attack. He brought a lot of people. If they attacked together and triggered a chaotic battle, he might still have a chance to escape. However, no one attacked. The difference in strength was too great. Forget about others. Just Yuan Song and the 3 6th level Divine Lords alone could destroy all of them.
If they attacked, they would be courting death.
No one was a fool.
Ah, you guys are still not attacking?
You dare to disobey military orders? You cowards, this is rebellion, this is a serious crime. Shi Huang roared crazily, completely collapsing. His heart was filled with despair and regret. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world.
Boom!
Yuan Song's fist landed on Shi Huang's body. Shi Huang screamed, and then his body directly exploded, turning into ashes.
Shi Huang was killed.
The scene was silent. In the right wing of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army, everyone held their breaths, and their eyes fell on Lu Ming. How would Lu Ming deal with them? I don't want today's matter to spread. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the scene, and his cold voice sounded in everyone's ears.
General Lu, don't worry.
Today's matter will definitely not spread.
That's right, I won't say a word. Immediately, many people spoke and nodded. They were really afraid. Lu Ming even dared to kill Shi Huang. He was too bold. Would he care about them?
Therefore they were well behaved.
Shi Huang died. What do you say when others ask?
Lu Ming said.
That's simple.
We encountered the barbarian race and fought with them. General Shi Huang killed the enemy bravely, but unexpectedly, the enemy was too strong. General Shi Huang was killed by a barbarian race powerhouse. Immediately, someone shouted, "Very well, let's say so. However, I don't trust you. Swear on your life source that you will never leak today's matter." Lu Ming said. This matter couldn't be leaked out for the time being. After all, Shi Huang was the right-wing general of the 8th Barbarian Extermination Army. If others knew that Shi Huang was killed by him, it would be difficult to explain. However, he couldn't kill so many people in the right wing of the 8th Barbarian Exterminating Army. Many people were hesitant. It's fine if you don't want to swear. Go accompany your General Desolate Rhino. Lu Ming's voice was ice-cold. There were definitely Shi Huang's trusted aides here. If he didn't swear, these people would most likely spread the news. I swear as well. Immediately, a large group of people swore. The Dark Ape Battle Clan's experts supervised the process until everyone had sworn their oaths. Scram! Lu Ming waved his hand. The right wing of the 8th Barbarian Exterminating Army felt as if they had been granted amnesty. They boarded their battleships and left. Let's go back. Lu Ming waved his hand and left with the Dark Ape Fighting Tribe. After some time, they returned to the Hidden Dragon Star. When they returned, Lu Ming asked all the Dark Ape Battle Clan members to cultivate their primitive divine body in peace on the Hidden Dragon Star. Lu Ming was also waiting there for news about the Mid-Autumn Moon. During this period, he constantly sent people out to investigate the Mid-Autumn Moon. At the same time, Tian also sent people to continue the investigation. Once there was any news, they would inform Lu Ming. Just like that, time flew by. Soon, 10 years had passed. After 10 years, there was still no news about the Mid-Autumn Moon. There was no news from the Taishu dynasty or the barbarian tribe. Mid-Autumn Moon, I believe that you will be fine. Lu Ming sighed softly. At this time, he planned to head to the Taishu sacred capital to submit his merits. With his accumulated merits, it was enough to promote the Hidden Dragon residence from the General's residence to the Marquis residence. Once it was promoted to the Marquis residence, more people would seek refuge with him. In these 10 years, the Dark Ape Battle Clan Elite's cultivation was also on the right track. With the help of a large number of primordial divine crystals, the Dark Ape Battle Clan members' primitive divine body and King Kong Violent Ape Battle Clan members' primitive divine body had improved tremendously. The main reason was that the Dark Ape Battle Clan's physique was too compatible with the King Kong Violent Ape secret skill. In addition, the primitive spiritual liquid had stimulated the primordial divine ape bloodline in their bodies. Their cultivation was constantly improving. In just 10 years, many of the Dark Ape Battle Clan members had cultivated the primitive divine body to the second transformation. Now that the Dark Ape Battle Clan's cultivation was on the right track, Lu Ming could go to the Taishu sacred capital without worry. Of course, he would not go alone. He would bring along a group of elites from the Dark Ape Battle Clan. As usual, Yuan Song followed him while Yuan Huan guarded the Hidden Dragon Star. On a mountain peak, Blue Merchant sat alone with his legs crossed. His body was covered by a layer of light, which made him look sacred and mysterious. This was the power of his soul. At the same time, there was a crystal that floated above Blue Merchant's head, emitting a mysterious light. Lan Shu's soul power has improved again. It seems like he's about to enter the second level of the Divine Lord realm. Lu Ming exclaimed. He had never seen a person with such a powerful soul power. Moreover, the speed of improvement was so fast. Nonsense. With the help of the Soul Mother, of course his soul power would improve quickly. Moreover, this kid's talent in the soul is already amazing. Guemo said. Soul Mother? Is it that crystal? Lu Ming was stunned. He remembered that Blue Merchant did not have it in the past. He guessed that it was because Blue Merchant had a fortuitous encounter in the primordial divine spirit world that allowed his soul power to break through. That's right. The Soul Mother is a rare treasure in the world. It's extremely precious and rare even in the primitive universe. It's a treasure that can extend one's life. Guemo said. The Soul Mother can extend one's life? Lu Ming was puzzled. Of course. Do you know why a person's life is limited? A divine king can only live for 5 stellar years at most, and a divine lord can only live for 10 stellar years at most. It's not because their physical body has decayed but because their soul has withered away. Guemo explained. Indeed.
Lu Ming nodded. When one's cultivation reached the Divine King or Divine Lord realm, it was almost impossible for their physical body to decay unless too much time had passed. For example, a few dozen stellar years, a few hundred stellar years, etc. For example, a Divine Lord realm expert's physical body was incomparably strong. This was especially so for experts who cultivated physique secret techniques. Their physical body was indestructible and wouldn't decay after 10 stellar years. Then why did a Divine Lord realm expert only have a lifespan of 10 stellar years? It was because the soul had withered away. When the soul withered, one's life would naturally come to an end. Do you understand now? The Soul Mother has an extremely mysterious effect on the soul. It can allow the withered soul to burst with vitality. Once the soul bursts with vitality, its lifespan will naturally be extended. In fact, many treasures that can increase one's lifespan are used to enhance the soul. Guemo continued to explain. Chapter 3479. That's why this Soul Mother can't be leaked. Otherwise, many old monsters will fight over it. However, there aren't many people who know about the Soul Mother, so you can rest assured. Guemo continued. As the two chatted, Blue Merchant sensed Lu Ming's arrival and ended his cultivation. The Soul Mother flew into his glabella and disappeared. Lu Ming, you're going to the Great Void Sage capital, right? Blue Merchant got up and floated over. Lan Shu, you're really good at predicting things. I want to ask Lan Shu, are you going back to the Great Void Sage capital? Lu Ming asked. Of course, I'm going back. It's time to see Ling Er. Blue Merchant said. All these years, Lan Ling had been cultivating in the Great Void Imperial Sacred Court. This girl was very outstanding. She cultivated desperately so that she could surpass Lu Ming while Lu Ming was fighting outside. All right, let's go together then. Lu Ming smiled. A day later, they set off. After a long journey, Lu Ming returned to the Great Void Sage capital. The moment Lu Ming returned to the Great Void Sage capital, the news immediately spread. After all, there were many rumors that Lu Ming had died on the battlefield. Now that he had returned, it naturally attracted the attention of others. Lu Ming returned to the Great Void Sage capital and did not stop. He directly led his men to the Grand Council, intending to submit his merits first. The Grand Council was very large. The area of the hall was very shocking and could accommodate tens of millions of people. It was extremely majestic. After all, it was handling the military affairs of the entire Taishu dynasty, so it was naturally very large. Moreover, there were a lot of people. There was an endless stream of people coming in and out. Look, isn't that Lu Ming? It's indeed Lu Ming. I heard that he died in battle. So it was just a rumor. Now he's here to submit his merits, right? Speaking of which, this Lu Ming is really impressive. He's so young and has already been promoted to the general's residence. The moment Lu Ming walked into the main hall, he was recognized by many people. Isn't it just being promoted to the general's residence? What's so great about that? At this moment, a cold and disdainful voice sounded. The crowd turned their gazes toward the source of the voice and saw a young man leading 7 or 8 people over. It's Lin Ke. It's Lin Ke. Lin Ke, one of the 9 great generals. Seeing this young man, many people's expressions changed, and some people exclaimed. The 9 great generals? Lu Ming muttered. Among the younger generation of the Taishu Holy Dynasty, the 9 great generals were the most powerful of the bunch. The 9 great general stars were all top-notch geniuses. However, none of the people who had entered the Great Void Imperial Academy at the same time as Lu Ming had ascended to the 9 great general stars. Each of the 9 great generals was slightly older than Lu Ming's group. 3 of them were students of the previous batch of the Great Void Imperial Academy, and these 3 were the top 3 geniuses at that time. As for the other 6, they were not students of the Great Void Imperial Academy, but geniuses secretly cultivated by the royal family. That's right, among the 9 great general stars, only 3 of them had ascended to the Great Void Imperial Academy. As for the students of the previous batch of Great Void Imperial Academy students, they had already exceeded the age limit and were no longer an exception. Every time the Great Void Imperial Academy was held, a large number of geniuses would join, including members of the royal family. There would even be princesses and princes who would enter the Great Void Imperial Academy to cultivate. For example, Jingyu back then. However, every time, The royal family would secretly search for a group of top-notch geniuses and secretly cultivate them. They would also invest a lot of resources. Every time, the geniuses secretly cultivated by the royal family would give birth to some amazing people. For example, in the previous batch of Great Void Imperial Academy students, there were 6 peerless geniuses. Only 3 of the Great Void Imperial Academy students could compare to them.
Lin Ke was one of the 3 great general stars of the Great Void Imperial Academy, and he ranked 3rd in the Great Void Imperial Academy.
At the same time, Lin Ke and the Crown Prince seemed to have a good relationship. Some people guessed that Lin Ke had already sided with the Crown Prince. In an instant, some information flashed through Lu Ming's mind. Lin Ke walked over with a group of people.
When he was not far away from Lu Ming, he sneered and said, "Lu Ming, you're here to submit your merits too?"
Of course.
Lu Ming replied indifferently.
Kid, what's with your attitude? The chief is your senior. A burly man behind Lin Ke shouted.
The chief he was referring to was naturally Lin Quebec. Lin Ke had already established his own residence and family. Moreover, it was said that Lin Ke was about to be promoted to the Marquis residence. Lin Ke waved his hand and the burly man kept quiet. "Lu Ming, I heard that you were promoted to the Great General's residence quite early. However, it's not difficult for a soldier's residence to be promoted to the Great General's residence.
Sometimes, if you're lucky, you can do it.
If you want to continue to gain merits, you still need to be strong and have a group of strong subordinates.
You think you can do it with just these monkeys?"
Ha!
Lin Ke glanced at Yuan Song and the others behind Lu Ming and smiled disdainfully.
Yuan Song and the others had concealed their aura very well. Therefore, Lin Ke and the others could not see their cultivation realms at all.
This kid. Yuan Song's eyes turned cold.
He revealed a ferocious look and was about to attack.
Lu Ming raised his hand and stopped Yuan Kong. "Why bite back when a mad dog bites you?" Lu Ming said indifferently. "Chief is right." Yuan Song glanced at Lin Ke in disdain and sneered.
Lin Ke's eyes darkened. A cold light flashed in the depths of his eyes.
"Lu Ming, you're here to submit your merits. So am I. There's no point in talking nonsense. Let's see who can accumulate more merits." Lin Ke sneered. "Not interested," Lu Ming said indifferently. He then turned and walked towards a huge counter. He was really not interested. With his current vision, he really had no interest in competing with someone like Lin Quebec. After all, they were not on the same level. However, Lin Ke thought that Lu Ming was afraid and did not dare to compete with him. "Humph. You were promoted to the general's residence because of luck. You just happened to have a few Divine Lord subordinates. Now you're showing your tail and don't dare to compete with me."
"Haha."
Lin Ke sneered. His mocking voice resounded in the hall. He then used his movement technique and rushed towards Lu Ming.
He appeared at the counter before Lu Ming and said, "Sir, I want to submit my merits."
He did it on purpose. He wanted to submit his merits before Lu Ming. He wanted to show Lu Ming the merits he had accumulated and let Lu Ming know the gap between them. At the same time, he wanted to attack Lu Ming and make him afraid to submit his merits in front of everyone. He wanted to embarrass Lu Ming. Lu Ming was stunned.
Then, there was an inexplicable sneer at the corners of his mouth.
He did not want to embarrass Lin Quebec. Lin Ke wanted to embarrass Lin Quebec. Lin Ke had no reason to refuse. Therefore, Lu Ming stood there motionlessly as he watched Lin Ke submit the military merit.
Lin Ke is going to submit his merits.
I've heard that Lin Ke has reached the 9th King God layer a long time ago. He's terrifyingly talented. Many strong cultivators have joined him. This time, he's here to submit his contribution points.
I'm afraid it's not a small matter.
That's right. Lin Ke is working for the 3rd Barbarian Extermination Troop. He must have killed a lot of barbarians. Many people whispered. Chapter 3480. On the counter was an old man. This was a big shot of the military council, his strength unfathomable.
He swept a glance over Lin Ke indifferently and said, "Take out your resting image stones then."
Lin Ke nodded his head.
Waving his hand, he took out 6 pieces of resting image stones and handed them to the old man.
Then, the old man took out 6 miniature array discs and placed the 6 pieces of resting image stones on the array discs. The 6 pieces of resting image stones immediately lit up. One image after another emerged. In the vast starry sky, intense fighting.
A large number of powerhouses were fighting. This was precisely the scene of Lin Ke bringing people to fight with the barbarians. It was only to see barbarians fall in front of them one after another.
So impressive. Those are terrifying third-level Divine Lord powerhouses, right?
Right. There are even fourth-level Divine Lords.
1 fourth-level Divine Lord, 3 third-level Divine Lords. This is the combat power under Lin Ke's command?
Indeed astonishing.
The military council's resting image stones were very peculiar.
From the images on the resting image stones, one could determine the cultivation realm of the people in the images.
They could tell that there was 1 4th-level Divine Lord and 3 3rd-level Divine Lord existences under Lin Ke's command. Lin Ke's talent was very high. There were naturally many powerhouses relying on him. It was only to see one barbarian after another being killed by Lin Ke's people. So astonishing, I took a look. There were 2 3rd-level Divine Lord powerhouses killed by them from start to finish. To be exact, there are 2 3rd-level Divine Lords, 5 2nd-level Divine Lords, and 11 1st-level Divine Lords. A total of 18 Divine Lord realm powerhouses. As for Divine Kings, I don't even know how many of them there are. This is a great merit. A heaven-shaking great merit. This is enough for Lin Ke's family mansion to be promoted to the Marquis Mansion. Totally can, the 9 great general stars, well deserving of their reputation. The surrounding people looked at the images in the air, marveling endlessly. Lin Ke looked at Lu Ming coldly and said, "See that? What's a powerhouse? Just based on those few monkeys that you brought, how can they compare?" Finished talking, he even looked at Yuan Song and the rest behind Lu Ming very disdainfully. "Indeed can't compare."
Lu Ming nodded his head very seriously.
Ha ha ha. Lin Ke laughed heartily, thinking that Lu Ming had finally recognized the reality and realized the gap between them. Not bad, not bad.
With these merits and the ones you've made before, I think you can be promoted to the Marquis Mansion.
I will report these merits to my superiors. Mr. Lin Ke, just go back and wait for the good news.
The expression of the old man from the Grand Council eased up a lot, and he revealed a smile.
Thank you, Senior.
Lin Ke cupped his fists and said, "Senior, I have a friend here who has also accumulated a large amount of military merits.
Please check him." Having said that, he looked at Lu Ming, placing particular emphasis on the word large. He couldn't wait to see Lu Ming put on a good show. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward.
With a wave of his hand, a total of 12 breathing shadow stones flew out.
It's just for show. Do you think it's useful just because you have a lot of rest shadow stones? Lin Ke mocked in disdain.
Lu Ming's expression was very calm as he said, "Senior, please check."
All right. The old man nodded his head and took out another 6 array discs, making a total of 12. He placed Lu Ming's breathing shadow stones on them, and 12 images immediately appeared. As soon as the images appeared, they shone brightly. It was the scene of a planet exploding, followed by a terrifying battle. This battle was the first battle that Lu Ming had fought with Yuan Song and the rest after returning. They had annihilated a hidden barbarian tribe army, and the commander of the army was a 5th-level Divine Lord. In the images, huge apes could be seen moving across the starry sky. They were extremely terrifying, and with a punch, a large number of barbarians were killed. It was as if the barbarians were made of paper. The dark ape fighting tribe's barbarians were crushed by the barbarians in a single strike. Regardless of whether it was a divine king or a divine lord, they were all killed in one blow. Especially Yuan Song, who was extremely overbearing. With a punch, a planet exploded, and a large number of barbarians died tragically. In the end, even the commander of the barbarians, a 5th-level divine lord, was killed by Yuan Song's punch. Silence. In the great hall, it fell into a death-like silence. Everyone's eyeballs were about to pop out, staring fixedly at the images in the air, completely unable to shift their gazes. My God, what did I see? A 4th-level Divine Lord existence was blown up with a punch. Not just a 4th-level Divine Lord, even a 5th-level Divine Lord was blown up with a punch. That monkey, no, that Senior Ape Divine Lord blew up a planet with a punch, blowing up a 5th-level Divine Lord Barbarian. What kind of strength is this? 7th-level Divine Lord. It's definitely a 7th-level Divine Lord. There's no mistake. This old man was once fortunate enough to see a 7th-level Divine Lord Marshal take action. What? 7th-level Divine Lord? After the silence, It was a hubbub.
The great hall fell into a clamor. Lin Ke was completely stunned, his eyes wide open, and his mouth wide open until it could swallow a goose egg. Following that, his body started trembling, and his eyes were bloodshot.
Impossible, this is impossible. Lin Ke muttered to himself, finding it hard to believe. Lu Ming, a student who just joined the Great Void Imperial Family's Sacred Academy this year, how could he possibly have such powerful subordinates? But very soon, the scene in the air changed again, becoming another great battle. This great battle similarly ended in a crushing manner. It was no different from the first battle. The apes similarly displayed unparalleled tyrannical combat power, easily killing the other party's commander. The scene in the air continuously changed, while inside the Great Hall, it recovered silence once more. There was not the slightest bit of sound. Everyone was watching seriously. The scene changed continuously, displaying the scenes of 10 battles from front to back.
All of them were resolved in a crushing manner.
My God, a total of 6 5th-level Divine Lord existences were killed. There are 18 4th-level Divine Lords. Horrifying, too horrifying. What kind of contribution is this? The barbarians' losses are heavy. This kind of contribution can directly be conferred as marquee, right? Many people roared loudly, seriously too shocked.
Good, good, good. That old man from the military council had incomparably bright eyes.
At the same time, he was also incomparably shocked in his heart.
This kind of battle achievement was simply even greater than a certain army. For example, the barbarian exterminating 8th Army and the like. Each time they came to submit their contributions, the number of enemies killed would not be this many.
It was even a lot less. The contributions that Lu Ming accumulated were simply terrifying. It's fake, everything is fake. At this time, Lin Ke roared loudly.
He stared at Lu Ming with reddened eyes and roared loudly. Lu Ming, how dare you?
To actually dare tamper with the rest reflection stone. Those scenes earlier must be fake.
That old man from the military council frowned slightly.
He already checked earlier. The rest reflection stone was absolutely not tampered with. Those were all real. This old man has checked. Those are all real.
The old man from the military council opened his mouth.
Impossible, senior. You must have been deceived by him. It must be fake. It can't be real. Lin Ke roared loudly. Chapter 3481. Lin Ke was completely filled with jealousy. How could he think of anything else? He firmly believed that Lu Ming's rest reflection stone was fake. He's just a new student of the Great Void Imperial Academy. How could there be so many experts behind him? Moreover, they are all 7th-level Divine Lord experts. Even if he faked it, he didn't make it more realistic. A 7th-level Divine Lord is an overlord. Why would they submit to him? Who does he think he is? Lin Ke continued to roar. Many people's eyes flickered, feeling that what Lin Ke said made sense. What kind of person was a 7th-level Divine Lord? That was someone who could become a heavenly king. If he joined the army, he would be a legion commander of a certain army. How could such a person submit to a young man? Moreover, a young man who had just joined the Great Void Imperial Academy? Was this possible? Lu Ming, you're audacious. You even dare to fake your military achievements. I suspect that your promotion to the general's residence was also fake. Despicable and shameless. How can someone like you be worthy of being called a genius? What a joke, what a joke. Lin Ke continued to roar. He was certain that Lu Ming was faking it. If what Lu Ming said was true, then what he said previously was a slap to his own face. It was a slap to his face. You think it's fake just because you say so? I'll say that you're faking it. Lu Ming curled his lips in disdain. I faked it? Haha, this is ridiculous. Let the truth speak for itself. Let's see if the abilities of my subordinates are the same as what is shown on the resting shadow stone. Show it to him. Lu Ming, open your eyes wide and take a good look. After saying that, Lin Ke gave his subordinates a look. Boom, boom. Suddenly, a terrifying aura burst out, and a horrifying pressure filled the hall. Lin Ke brought 8 subordinates and released their auras completely. 1 4th-level Divine Lord, 3 3rd-level Divine Lords, and 4 2nd-level Divine Lords. There's no mistake. It's the same as on the rest reflection stone. It's indeed the same. Lin Ke is really amazing.
He actually has so many powerful subordinates. This is normal. Lin Kei's talent is amazing. He reached the 9th level Divine King realm at a young age. His future is limitless. Naturally, many experts will submit to him in advance so that they can be put in an important position in the future. Many people nodded and discussed. Do you see that? This is genuine strength. If you have the ability, then let those monkeys behind you show their strength. Do you dare? Lin Kei stared at Lu Ming and said, Since you must see it, then let's see it. Lu Ming said indifferently and waved his hands slightly. This time, Lu Ming brought a total of 6 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members with him. With a wave of Lu Ming's hand, 3 Dark Ape Fighting Tribe members immediately stepped forward. As they stepped forward, a terrifying aura erupted from their bodies like a volcanic eruption. Lin Kei and his men's faces changed drastically when they were hit by this aura. They couldn't help but retreat. 5th level Divine Lord. These 3 Dark Ape Battle Clan members were all 5th level Divine Lords. Damn it! How is this possible? Lin Kei roared in his heart, his eyeballs almost popping out. But in the next moment, 2 more auras rose. 2 more Dark Ape Battle Tribe members revealed their auras. These 2 auras were even more terrifying. Each of them was like a dominator that suppressed all directions, causing the entire hall to tremble slightly. Many people had difficulty breathing and almost vomited blood from the pressure. 6th level Divine Lords. These 2 Dark Ape Battle Tribe members were 6th level Divine Lords. Blind little bastard, look carefully. At this time, the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members spoke coldly. Then, a violent aura erupted. When this aura appeared, the Grand Council's hall shook violently. Many people's faces turned pale as if a huge planet was pressing on them. Some people with weaker cultivation almost knelt down. Oh my god, it's really a 7th level Divine Lord. There's no mistake. 7th level Divine Lord. Everything on the resting shadow stone is real. This is too heaven-defying. Lu Ming actually has such terrifying subordinates. Incomparably shocked voices rang out. As for Lin Kei, his face was even paler and his eyes were filled with disbelief. No, how is this possible? How is this possible? Lin Kei muttered to himself, unable to accept this fact. Now, have you seen it clearly? Lu Ming looked at Lin Kei indifferently. Huff, huff. Lin Kei desperately took in breaths to calm himself down. After a few breaths, Lin Kei regained his composure. After all, he was a prodigy of a generation. His wisdom was outstanding and he quickly adjusted. Then, he cupped his fists at the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members and said respectfully, Seniors, I was blind just now and did not recognize Mount Tai. Now, I apologize here. Humph. The Dark Ape Battle Tribe member snorted coldly and ignored him. Everyone thought that Lin Kei was afraid, which was why he apologized. Unexpectedly, he changed his tone and said, Now, I sincerely invite all of you to join me. I will not treat you unfairly. What? Many people were stunned, including Lu Ming himself. He's trying to poach them, and he's doing it so openly. Previously, he mocked the Dark Ape Battle Tribe members and now he's trying to poach them again. Lu Ming was impressed by Lin Kei's shamelessness. As the saying goes, a fine bird breaks a tree to perch. Powerhouses with abilities like yours don't have to suffer under Lu Ming. Why don't you join a genius with a brighter future? That's a good plan. Seniors, what do you think? Lin Kei continued to speak with a proud expression. Hee hee. Lu Ming laughed in disdain. Did I say something wrong? Lin Kei's gaze was like lightning as he stared at Lu Ming and said, Only a stronger prodigy with better talent can go further and stand at the peak with a better future. Only by joining a better prodigy can you have a better future. Am I wrong? Lin Kei asked continuously. Do you mean that you're a stronger prodigy with better talent? Lu Ming said. Lu Ming, I know that you're ranked 3rd in this batch of Great Void Imperial Academy, and I'm ranked 3rd in the previous batch of Great Void Imperial Academy. However, you have to realize that not every batch of Great Void Imperial Academy prodigies are born as a peerless prodigy. Some batches can be called the Golden Generation, while some batches can be called the Rotten Generation. Even if you're ranked 1st in a bad batch, you probably won't even make it into the top 10 in a good batch. Even if you're ranked the same in different batches, your talent may be worlds apart. Although you and I are both ranked 3rd, our talents are worlds apart. Do you understand? Lin Kei said loudly.
Obviously, he was very confident. He felt that his cohort was the golden generation and was much more powerful than Lu Ming's. Even if they were both ranked third, he was far above Lu Ming. Hee, only 3 of the 9 general stars made it, and you still have the cheek to brag. Lu Ming smiled disdainfully. What did you say? Lin Ke said coldly. Then, a violent aura burst out. It was the aura of a peak divine king, suppressing Lu Ming. Chapter 3482. Lin Ke's aura pressed down on Lu Ming, but to Lu Ming, it was like a spring breeze. Boom! Lin Ke's aura grew stronger and stronger, and his body exuded an ancient aura. Third awakening of origin divine power factor. Lu Ming's lips curled into a disdainful smile. Lu Ming, I challenge you now. Do you dare to fight me? Lin Ke shouted. Not interested. Lu Ming said indifferently. He was really not interested. Although Lin Ke's cultivation had reached the peak of the supreme god realm, his origin divine power factor had only awakened 3 times. Such strength was common in the primitive divine spirit world. To Lu Ming, he was not interested in it at all. He then turned to the elder in the Grand Council and asked, Senior, is the inspection done? Yes, I will report it. With your contribution, you can be promoted to the Marquis Mansion. Go back and wait for the news. The elder in the Grand Council said. Okay, goodbye. Lu Ming cupped his fists and turned to leave with Yuan Song and the others. Stop right there, you bastard. Didn't you hear what I said? In a flash, Lin Ke appeared in front of Lu Ming and said in a low voice. The strength of Yuan Song and the others made him very excited. Moreover, since Yuan Song and the others were willing to side with Lu Ming, it meant that they could also side with others. Today, he wanted to trample on Lu Ming and let Yuan Song and the others see what a real genius was. Then, he would take them under his wing. With a subordinate like Yuan Song, it would not be impossible for him to be promoted to the Heavenly King Mansion. A cold light flashed in Lu Ming's eyes. Although he was not interested in accepting Lin Ke's challenge, he did not mind giving him a beating since Lin Ke kept provoking him. Make your move. Lu Ming said indifferently. Kill. As soon as the words left Lu Ming's mouth, Lin Ke attacked. As soon as he attacked, he used his essence secret magic. A bronze pagoda rapidly expanded in size as it shot toward Lu Ming. Lin Ke used his full strength. He wanted to beat Lu Ming down in one move and suppress Lu Ming. The bronze pagoda quickly approached Lu Ming's head. Why isn't Lu Ming fighting back? It's obvious that Lin Ke is too strong. His powerful strength has already locked onto Lu Ming, making it difficult for him to move. The outcome has been decided. Lu Ming is still too young. Lin Ke is from the previous batch of students of the Great Void Imperial Academy. Thoughts flashed through many people's minds, thinking that the outcome had already been decided. At this moment, Lu Ming made his move. It was a very simple punch. With this punch, Lu Ming activated the battle character art and quadrupled his battle prowess. He also used the heavenly demon golden body, and the 12 types of god force in his body surged madly. Boom! In the next moment, Lu Ming's fist landed on the bronze pagoda. How dare you use your fist to attack my essence secret magic, Do? You overestimate yourself. Break! Lin Ke roared in his heart. A ferocious light flashed in his eyes. He wanted to shatter Lu Ming's fist in one move. However, in the next moment, his expression changed drastically. When Lu Ming's fist landed on the bronze pagoda, he felt an extremely terrifying force erupt. The bronze pagoda shook violently and then exploded with a bang. Ah! Lin Ke screamed as his body flew backward. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood in the air. However, Lu Ming did not stop there. With a flash, he appeared above Lin Ke and stomped down on Lin Ke's face. With a bang, Lin Ke fell to the ground like a dead fish. Lu Ming stepped on his face with an indifferent expression. The main hall was silent. Everyone watched in a daze. Their eyes were wide open and their faces were filled with disbelief. Lin Ke was defeated and he was defeated in an instant. He was defeated in one move. How was this possible? It was like a dream. Ah! Under Lu Ming's foot, Lin Ke was like a dead dog, roaring and struggling frantically. Miserable. It was too miserable. Just a moment ago, he was arrogant and insufferably arrogant. He thought that he was a genius and the representative of the golden generation. Even Lu Ming, who was ranked third, could not compare to him. He was extremely confident. However, reality was like a slap to his face. He was defeated in an instant by Lu Ming.
He was a student of the previous batch of the Great Void Imperial Academy and ranked third.
He was also one of the 9 generals. However, he was defeated in an instant by Lu Ming. Lu Ming did not even use his essence secret magic.
No, he did not believe that this was real. He would rather believe that this was a nightmare. Unfortunately, the feeling of the soles of the shoes rubbing against his face told him that this was real.
This was reality.
You said so much nonsense just now, but you're right about one thing. Even if the rankings are the same, the talents of different batches will be worlds apart.
Indeed, you're right, Lu Ming said indifferently. Wasn't that so? Compared to Lu Ming, Lin Ke was worlds apart.
Blood spurted out of Lin Ke's mouth because of anger. This. Lin Ke's subordinates were all stunned.
In their eyes, Lin Ke was already a peerless genius with a limitless future. In the future, he would definitely become a top figure in the Taishu dynasty. They had followed Lin Ke for a long time and would definitely be in a high position in the future. But now, compared to Lu Ming, Lin Ke was nothing. He was trash. The difference was too great. It was a complete contrast. Lin Ke had cultivated for so many years more than Lu Ming, but he was still defeated in an instant by Lu Ming. There was no comparison.
Lin Ke's 7 subordinates looked at each other and then nodded silently.
Suddenly, they rushed out and bowed to Lu Ming. Lu Ming's talent is unparalleled.
The few of us would like to submit to young Master Lu Ming and serve young Master Lu Ming. We hope that young Master Lu Ming can fulfill our wish.
What?
This dramatic scene stunned everyone at the scene.
You.
Lin Ke roared as if he had gone crazy. Then, he vomited another mouthful of blood.
Lin Ke had said before that a good bird would break a tree to perch. That was indeed the case.
Now, his subordinates had all submitted to Lu Ming.
Seeing that you guys are quite sincere, I'll agree. Lu Ming nodded. The 7 of them were not weak.
They were all second-level divine lords and above. In the Taishu dynasty, they would definitely be considered experts. There was no reason for him not to accept them. Although he had the Dark Ape fighting tribe, the more experts he had, the better.
All right, follow me to the place where I live, Lu Ming said casually. Then he strode out and ignored Lin Quebec. Soon, Lu Ming and the rest disappeared.
Only Lin Ke was left lying on the ground alone.
Lu Ming, I'll make sure you die a horrible death.
Ah! Lin Ke roared in his heart. Today he was really miserable.
Not only had he been slapped in the face repeatedly, but he had also lost his subordinates. This news would soon spread throughout the Taishu holy capital and he would become a laughingstock.
It would not be long before he could no longer be one of the 9 generals.
His hatred for Lu Ming was overwhelming. Chapter 3483.
Lu Ming and the others returned to their residence and waited. However, they did not have to wait for long. 3 days later, a piece of news came from the Grand Council.
Lu Ming was conferred the title of Hidden Dragon Marquis.
His clan residence was also upgraded to Marquis residence, and he was also given a Marquis residence.
This caused a huge commotion in the holy capital.
Lu Ming had become a Marquis. This could be said to be the youngest Marquis in history. Lin Ke was also conferred the title of Marquis, but it did not cause any commotion.
Instead, it was treated as a joke. This mansion is quite big, isn't it?
Lu Ming stood in front of a residence and smiled. There were 5 words written on the residence. Hidden Dragon Marquis Residence. In the Taishu dynasty, anyone who became a Marquis or a Heavenly Lord would be given a residence in the holy capital by the imperial family. This was the residence given to Lu Ming by the imperial family. It was very spacious and took up an astonishing amount of space. There were layers upon layers of buildings, and one could not see the end of it. It could even house an army. Lu Ming walked around the residence and was very satisfied. Then, he brought his people and stayed there. At the same time, he hired a group of people to take care of the Marquis residence. Lu Ming had become a Marquis, and the news of Lu Ming and Lin Ke's battle quickly spread throughout the holy capital. It pushed Lu Ming's reputation to the top. The youngest Marquis and Lin Ke was defeated in seconds. This was too shocking. Lu Ming was a new batch of students, and he could defeat Lin Ke in seconds. Although Lin Ke was the last of the 9 general stars, It was enough to prove that Lu Ming was qualified to be one of the 9 general stars. Such a young general star was amazing. But soon, the rumors about Lu Ming died down. This was because an even bigger event was about to happen in the Taishu dynasty. It was the birthday of the Holy Emperor, which was 10 stellar years. At the Divine Lord realm, one could only live for 10 stellar years at most, and this was only in theory. In fact, many Divine Lords would perish from the exhaustion of their souls before even reaching 10 stellar years. It was already extremely rare for the current Sacred Emperor to live for 10 stellar years. Therefore, this birthday celebration would be extremely grand. At that time, apart from the generals guarding the borders of the Taishu dynasty, almost all of the big and small powers would be there. All the heavenly kings, marquises, and generals would gather at the Great Void Sage capital to celebrate the Sage Emperor. Lu Ming originally wanted to return to the Hidden Dragon Star, but after hearing this news, he decided not to go back for the time being. This was because there were only 5 years left until the Sacred Emperor's birthday. During this period of time, the number of people in the Holy Capital had gradually increased. Many people from various forces had already arrived in advance. If he went back, he would have to make a trip back here. Therefore, Lu Ming decided to stay here for the time being and return to the Hidden Dragon Star after the Saint Emperor's birthday celebration. Anyway, 5 years was just a blink of an eye to them. The entire Holy Capital was discussing the Sacred Emperor's birthday celebration. In addition, they were discussing another matter, which was who would inherit the throne in the future. The Sacred Emperor's lifespan had already reached 10 stellar years. If he did not break through, this lifespan was almost the limit. He would not be able to live for long before he died. However, breaking through was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. One had to know that the Sacred Emperor's cultivation had already reached the limit of a Divine Lord. However, it was extremely difficult to advance any further. In the history of the Taishu dynasty, no one had achieved this. Therefore, the probability of this happening was extremely small. Once the Sage Emperor perished, who would inherit the position of Sage Emperor? The Crown Prince? Or the Second Prince? The Crown Prince was undoubtedly the legitimate successor. However, the Second Prince was very outstanding in all aspects. He was vaguely above the Crown Prince and had many supporters. Therefore, the final result was unpredictable. In the blink of an eye, Lu Ming had been in the Great Void Sage capital for half a year. One day, a person that Lu Ming did not expect came to the Holy Capital and looked for Lu Ming. "Shen Huang, why are you here?" Lu Ming was surprised and then overjoyed. Lu Shenhuang had come. Lu Ming had not seen Lu Shenhuang in a long time. After so many years, Lu Shenhuang's temperament had become even more restrained. Lu Shenhuang had been accompanying Lu Ming's parents and his wife all these years. He had not gone out to fight, nor had he had any fortuitous encounters. However, with the help of some resources that Lu Ming had given him, his cultivation had improved very quickly. Lu Ming could tell at a glance that Lu Shenhuang's cultivation had reached the peak of the 9th level of the True God realm. Lu Shenhuang had also cultivated the universe myriad Dao art, and could control many kinds of divine power. Without any fortuitous encounters, it was already very good for him to have such a cultivation. "Father, I'm here to see grandfather and grandmother." Back then, you sent people to take them away, but there was no reply after so many years. "I was a little worried, so I came to see them." Lu Shenhuang said. "What? I took father and mother away?" Hearing this, Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and his expression changed drastically. He had not sent anyone to take Lu Yuntian and Li Ping away. How could Lu Shenhuang say that he had sent people to take them away? Seeing Lu Ming's expression, Lu Shenhuang felt that something was wrong and hurriedly asked, "Father, did you not send people to take grandfather and grandmother away?" "No." Lu Ming's heart sank and his expression turned ugly. "Shenhuang, what's going on? When did this happen? Tell me in detail." Lu Shenhuang also knew the severity of the situation and hurriedly explained in detail. "About 100 years ago, a young woman came to find us and said that she was father's friend. Father had already settled down in the Taishu dynasty and wanted to take grandfather and grandmother over." Lu Shenhuang said, "How can you so easily believe a stranger's words?" Lu Ming said somewhat anxiously. "That woman said that she was father's friend and that they had a good relationship. She even took out a rest image stone with images of father and Auntie Autumn Moon together. Only then did we believe her." Lu Shenhuang said, "What? She had images of us together?" Lu Ming's expression darkened.
That meant that she must be someone that Lu Ming knew. What's her name? Lu Ming asked. She said she was Cui Wei. Lu Shenhuang said. Cui Wei, it's her. Lu Ming's eyes emitted shocking murderous intent. He had never thought that this person would be Cui Wei. When he and Auntie Autumn Moon had just entered the Taishu Imperial Sacred Courtyard, Cui Wei had approached him and made friends with him. Later, Lu Ming had fought in the Third King God Realm area of the Purgatory Arena and had been hunted down by experts. At that time, Lu Ming had suspected Cui Wei. He suspected that Cui Wei had approached him on purpose and leaked information about him. Since then, Cui Wei had less contact with him. He had never thought that she would deceive his parents. Now that he thought about it, Cui Wei had approached them with malicious intentions. She had secretly recorded the images of them together with the rest image stone. Damn it. Shenhuang, draw a portrait of that woman for me to see. Lu Ming ordered. All right. Lu Shenhuang nodded. At their level, they had a photographic memory. It was easy for them to spend an hour on a painting. If they were in the secular world, they would be top-notch painters. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.